welcome everybody here to Bridgeport, West Virginia, here as we got Chris Kidd, Dwayne Williams, Darryl McCoy, and Michael Sean Waller on the production tonight. Bridgeport versus Chapmanville here in the WVSSAC playoffs, guys, and everybody should be excited for this one.
Yes, this has been something that everybody dreams about whenever they get into high school football, being on stages like this and a chance to try and move on to the semifinals in the state playoffs. And that is the opportunity Chapmanville has here tonight, taking on the defending state champions, team that has won 25 straight games, and Chapmanville trying to shock the state coming in here tonight, Dwayne, with a huge upset if they can pull it off.
You said it there, Chris. If you want to shock the state, this is where you're going to have to do it. And Chapmanville has been hearing the noise all year. They don't deserve their record. What better way to prove it is to go up against the defending champs on a 25-game win streak.
And again, you talk about the win streaks back and forth. Chapmanville's won 15 straight going back to last year at the end of the regular season, not counting the playoffs. So if you want to do that, 15-1 since then. But Bridgeport with his 25-game winning streak, again, this has been a great atmosphere to walk into tonight. You can tell everyone's excited about this game. Everyone across the state saying, how does undefeated Chapmanville stack up with Bridgeport? Well, we get the chance to see tonight because they sent a big message last week with a win over Greenbrier East. Now can they come into hostile territory again and pull it off?
You've heard the cliche, you don't play the games on paper, and this is a prime example of that. Looking on paper, a lot of people outside of Logan County, outside of the town of Chapmanville, don't give the Tigers much chance here, but that's why you play the game. That's why you show up, especially in an atmosphere like this. The team's pumped, the coaching staff is pumped, the whole entire town's pumped for this matchup.
Well, we'll take a quick commercial break. First, we want to thank our sponsors, Rebound Physical Therapy and Sports Performance, Blessings and Blooms, Smell My Tarts, Perry Brothers Pond, 304 Motorsports Park, GMR Services, Chiefs Roadhouse, United Motorsports, Air Coma Drug, Precision Heating and Cooling, your go-to heating and cooling experts this winter. Cheetahs, Hill Chiropractic, Tug Valley Wellness Clinic, Southside Buildings and Carports, Logan Regional Medical Center, your healthcare experts, White Eye Care, Diamond Flag and Company, Quality Metal Roofing, and Wayne Runyon Insurance. Guys, hey, looky here, we got producer KJ and Kevin May. Guys, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back in just a second with the Chiefs Roadhouse pregame show with Chris Kidd, Dwayne Williams, Darryl McCoy on the call.
Smokey Armstrong here from United Motorsports of Belfry. Looking for your next adventure? We've got the motorcycles, side-by-sides, and ATVs needed to take your riding to the next level. Whether you're hitting the track, enjoying the trails, exploring the open road, or seeking comfort and style, we've got you covered with trusted brands like Honda, Polaris, and Kawasaki. At United Motorsports, we're not just about selling power sports, we're passionate about helping you find the perfect ride. Our team will work with you to customize your vehicle, offer expert advice, and provide top-notch service. No matter where your adventure takes you, ready to get started? Call us at 606-237-7311 or visit www.unitedmotorsportsbelfry.com or stop by today. Your next ride is waiting.
If you got a big job to get done, don't just trust any flagging service. Call Diamond Flagging Service. Diamond Flagging Service keeps your community safe while also making sure it stays moving. Give Diamond Flagging Service a call today for their services. They also offer amazing job opportunities. Diamond Flagging Services, proud supporter of the Mountain Athletes. Southside Buildings and Carports and Southside Shed Hunters of Louisa, Kentucky offers shed hauling services up to 16 by 52 long buildings. We also have lofted cabins, utility cabins, garages, man caves, she sheds that you can customize and order to your wants and needs with many different options such as workbenches, shelving, transom windows, and much more. You can go to the location or buy using 3D Builder's online order system. You can build right from your own home. We offer metal garages and carports that are built to any size and installed right on your property. For more info, call 304-928-0060 or 304-928-0062. Here at Southside Buildings and Carports, we've got you covered. And we are back here at Bridgeport High School as we got Chris Kidd, Dwayne Williams, Darryl McCoy, and Mikey Sean Waller on the production tonight. As guys, we got Chapmanville Tigers rolling into town with an undefeated record, taking on also undefeated Bridgeport. Guys, as you look at these matchups, how's these two teams break down here on the Chiefs Roadhouse pregame show?
I was going to say, Dwayne, we were talking about Bridgeport's offense. Again, you're not going to see a big aerial assault like what you see with some teams. This is a team that likes to keep the ball on the ground, like to pound away at it, and they use a lot of different variation how they do it.
Yeah, when you see their schedule and see their score, you might automatically think they're an aerial assault, somewhat like Chapmanville, but no, they pound the ball. For example, their starting running back, which they held out last week, the game before against Fairmont, he by himself had over 400 yards rushing. So that tells you in a nutshell what they aim to do. And we have talked a lot about this season, about the defensive line of the Tigers, how stout they have been, how formidable. This is by far going to be their biggest test of the year.
Yeah, it really definitely seems like this is going to be a game for Chapmanville. It's going to be decided in the trenches tonight. Can they slow down this rushing attack? Can they give enough time to block for Dalton whenever he drops back to throw? Will they be able to create running lanes here today? Again, those are going to be the big questions that I think we'll have answered pretty quick into this contest.
Yeah, it shouldn't take long to see how these teams match up. Chapmanville answered that first question, that first round question we had. What were they going to do when they face adversity? Within 3 seconds of that ball game, they were down. They responded in a great, fantastic way to come back and win that game, all throughout counter punches, all throughout that game. So what else is next is the juggernaut that is Bridgeport, and what a way. If you want to be a state champion, you got to beat the best team at some point, so it doesn't matter when you do it. This is what's in front of them. It's what they have to do.
Yeah, you got to be the best to beat the best, and if you're going to be the best, you got to beat the best. So whenever you sit here and look at these two matchups, as you mentioned, they like to rush, but Chapmanville's, front line is going to be tested tonight. Everybody, that's the strength of their defense, is that front defensive line. And, that defensive front has shut running teams down all year, but they've not faced a running team like Bridgeport. Bridgeport does a lot of misdirection stuff, so, they do got some veterans, but they also got youth on that line. We'll see if they can stay disciplined and stay in their own lanes. If so, you could see an upset here, and the Tigers moving on. But you're going to have to see an A game from Dakota Dalton, Preston Kovac, and the rest of the Tigers, because coming in here is no easy task. This place is, it's something special.
Yeah, and that was the big thing that a lot of the players said this week whenever I asked them what they saw on film. They said, we have to be disciplined. Darryl hit it right on the head, said they are very disciplined. They said we have to match that. They do like some of the situations that they can maybe attack in here tonight, but they did say we cannot afford to make mistakes and mental mistakes. If we do, they're going to capitalize on them. And it looks like right now they're getting ready for the playing of the national anthem. So we'll step aside real quick as that takes place, as you're watching high school football playoffs with us right here on the D&D Sports Network.
Come on down to Three Guys Pizza and Brew in Williamson, West Virginia. We're located on the corner of Harvey Street and 3rd Avenue. We got great deals on pizzas, sandwiches, and more. You get great service with great pricing. Enjoy your birthday or ball games with us here at Three Guys Pizza and Brew. Look forward to seeing you.
Five times is a charm. Congratulations to the awesome team at Precision Heating, Cooling, Electrical for earning its 5th National Best of the Best Award for Customer Satisfaction, the only HVAC company in West Virginia to earn our award for 5 straight years. If you need heating, cooling, electrical work, a fantastic generator, residential or commercial, done right at a fair price by honest experts, remember the name, Precision Heating, Cooling, Electrical. Visit PreciseHeatingCooling.com for an appointment. Precision, the best of the best, again.
Looking for a new healthcare provider? Come see us at Tug Valley Wellness Clinic. We take all patients from the ages 2 and up. Our staff has over 30 years of medical experience. We do everything from DOT physicals, wellness exams, adult and child, walk-in visits, and more. Call us today at 304-236-3601 or reach us Monday through Friday.
back here in Bridgeport as we got second round WVSSAC playoff action. Chris Kidd, Dwayne Williams, Michael Sean Waller, and Darryl McCoy on the call. Chapmanville versus Bridgeport. Right now, guys, looks like we are, well, I cannot see the clock. Looks like we are 10 minutes away from kickoff here, and they're playing the Bridgeport school song here as you're getting ready, but listen, this place right here, Chapmanville, we'll look over here to the far sideline. Have you guys seen, I've not seen Chapmanville yet this year bring a crowd like they brought tonight.
Yeah, it's been impressive on the way up. That's all I did was pass Chapmanville cars on the way up. I mean, that speaks to my driving, but nevertheless, I mean, you saw a ton of Chapmanville people on their way up here pulling into the parking lot. You saw a ton of Chapmanville people, and they have nearly filled out the opposing side of the stands right now. So they've got a huge contingent here tonight to try and cheer these guys on to what will be a monumental upset if they can do it.
Yeah, back-to-back weeks of traveling nearly 3 hours on a road trip. They have showed up both weeks, expected nothing less after we saw that crowd last week in Greenbrier East. So this Tiger community and fans have been behind this team all year and excited since the summer. Here we are coming up on Thanksgiving, and the excitement has only grown.
And again, the winner of this game gets Nitro in the state semifinals. Nitro beating North Marion 50-38 earlier today. Again, thank Grayson Sanders. He's helping us out as well from home. Must be nice as he keeps stats from the house tonight. But you know what? He's always really good of keeping us up to date on everything going on in the game, and he just sent me that update. So, again, winner gets Nitro. It'll either be Chapmanville going to Nitro or Nitro coming here to Bridgeport with a date in the state finals on the line.
Yeah, a lot of these teams have been watching the scoreboard, not looking ahead. But, this season has been, a lot of entertainment on, up and down the rankings of the AAA. Chapmanville expecting to be a double-A schedule and double-A division. They have stepped up every step of the way. So, they're not looking ahead too much right now. They got the beast in front of them. So I'm really anxious to see how this game starts.
Yeah, guys, as we're going to sit here real quick, I want to take and go to our GMR service comment section, read some comments. Remember, D&D Sports Network is an interactive broadcast. We want to know your guys' thoughts and comments throughout the game down in the GMR service comment section. Amber Neese says, come on, Tigers, you can do it. Susan Gore says, let's go, Tigers. Dave Cummings says, Bridgeport is a beast. They have ran this offense for years. They learn it at the youth league. No one can figure it out how to stop them. Go Chapmanville. Said, I hope they can figure it out. Timmy Meade says, don't know if Bridgeport has been behind this season or not. Said, hopefully the Tigers can get in front and stay in front. Said, and see how Bridgeport responds. We got T and Brian Dingus says, go Benji and Dakota. Leslie Wimpson says, go Tigers. We got Ryan Queen says, let's go Chapmanville. And Wilma Atkins says, good luck, Tigers. And Teresa Meade says, Tiger, Tiger, Tiger. Guys, real quick, want to thank Rebound Physical Therapy. Blessings and Blooms. Smell my tart, your #1 candle and tart place in Chapmanville, West Virginia. Perry Brothers Pond. Get new items at discounted prices. 304 Motorsports Park, Jim Mars Services, Chiefs Roadhouse in Logan, United Motorsports, your go-to place for side-by-sides, four-wheelers, and more. Air Coma Drug, Precision Heating and Cooling, Cheech's Pizza, Hill Chiropractic, Tug Valley Wellness Clinic, Southside Buildings and Carports, Logan Regional Medical Center, White Eye Care, Diamond Flag and Company, Quality Metal Roofing, and Wayne Runyon Insurance. Guys, let's take one more quick commercial break, and when we come back, we'll have the action right here on the Mountain's #1 leader in sporting news, the D&D Sports Network. Back here in Bridgeport, Chris Kidd, Dwayne Williams, Darryl McCoy You're watching the D&D Sports Network coverage of the second round of the WVSSAC playoffs. Guys, you are watching the Chiefs Roadhouse pregame show with Chris Kidd and Dwain Williams. Guys, we are just a few minutes away from kickoff here, so no more guessing. It's going to come down to where the proof's got to be in the pudding.
Yeah, again, I think one of the biggest things tonight, like you mentioned right before break, Dwayne, is that Chapmanville needs to try and play from in front tonight as much as possible. So I wouldn't be surprised to see them try and take the ball first if they get the opportunity here in the first half. And, you know, most teams want to take the ball second just because you get the chance for a 2-for-1 at the end of the half, get a chance to come out in the second half knowing what you need to do. But I feel like it's really pivotal for Chapmanville to try and get the first score of this game tonight, just to, like you said, put Bridgeport in a little bit of a doubting situation, considering they haven't been behind at all this season. If it has been, it's been very minimal if you look at their scores.
Yeah, that's a great point, Chris, especially with a dominant running team who can control the clock. If they got a lead, if they have a lead, they're going to control that clock as much as they want to against a high-powered offense like Chapmanville to keep Dalton and company on the sideline. So I totally agree with you. Typically, you want that ball second, but with this, to make a statement, to control the game as much as you can, you want that ball first in this situation. And I'm curious to see what Coach Belcher, Coach Barker has up their sleeve offensively, because we saw last week at a very, very opportune time they called a wide receiver double pass that blew the game open in a very tight game, very tight spot, and took a lot of guts to call it there. So I'm sure they're going to have to do some unorthodox things, because when you're up against a team that you're a heavy underdog, and that's just the reality of it, they're a heavy, heavy underdog in this game. I'm anxious to see what new wrinkles we'll see, because we've been lucky to see this team every game so far this season. So I can assure you we're going to see some new wrinkles, whether it's tendencies, whether it's a big-time play, whether it's a trick play. I'm looking forward to see that from OC Coach Barker.
And I think the tempo of this game is going to be interesting on Chapmanville's side as well. Again, we've seen them go no huddle, up tempo most of the season, but it feels like this is a game you want to try and shorten as much as you can. So I wouldn't be surprised to see Chapmanville maybe change that up a little bit more tonight. Instead of going no huddle constantly, maybe go no huddle, but eat that play clock up as much as possible.
Yeah, we've seen that do that. Even at times they rush up to the line, they look over to get their calls, and bleed that play clock down a bit. And like you guys touched on earlier about being disciplined, sometimes that's tough for the linemen and everybody to hold their position sometimes, and when they slow it down. But I'm sure that has been covered all week in all their intensive practices and film studies. So it's really going to be interesting to see how each team comes out, especially with the Tigers. I don't think that Bridgeport, they don't have a reason to change much. So, and it sounds like, they've had this same offense for years from the youth league on up. So, and that's probably explains why they're so dominant.
And again, whenever you're looking to take that leap as a program, these are the type of games that can provide that. Just from my experience coaching tennis, there was a time that we beat Bridgeport when I first started coaching. Then we beat Charleston Catholic. Then we beat Williamstown. We beat some of those teams that have won state titles and a lot of these private schools, and it really changed our mentality as far as what we believed we could achieve in tennis, to where we finally did win a state championship in 2024. And this football program, while it's not won a state championship, they've been to the semis. They've been on the cusp of going deep into the playoffs before. They just have not gotten that signature win that really turns a program completely 180. And there's that opportunity for Chapmanville tonight. Can they turn everyone's perception about Chapmanville football completely around, like they've done in basketball and so many other sports?
And what a program-changing win it would be against Bridgeport, in the state playoffs, in the quarterfinals. I mean, that is what will change a program. And Coach Belcher, in his third year, his mantra is brick by brick, and this would be a whole entire foundation built at one time, not just a brick if they pull this off.
Guys, as you're sitting here, Bridgeport is the winningest. As you see Bridgeport coming out, they are the winningest team in West Virginia as far as the playoffs. They got 72 playoff victories. So they're no stranger to winning ball games here at Bridgeport. And, you can see, this is one of them places they carry themselves, like in the mountains. If you're used to the Belfry, Johnson Central, Pikesvilles of the world, they got top-notch facilities here. And, when you walk in, you can tell they win at a high level. I was looking down at the bottom. I don't know how many state titles they were, but it looked like they had somewhere between 9 and 12 state titles hanging on the wall. So somebody let us know. Joe Kinder's tuning in. Let us know the facts on that as far as state titles. But this place, Chapmanville, they just got to not look like deer in headlights out of the gate. They got to come out, and we seen it last week. That's one of the first times Chapmanville had been punched in the mouth, and they responded well time and time again. Can they do it here tonight?
Yeah, we asked that question all year long. Chris and I, we've talked about it every broadcast. What's this team going to do when they face adversity? Well, they faced it in the first round, and they answered it in a big way. This is another level. They went from fighting the number 2 contender to the heavyweight champ of the world right now, so we're going to see how they handle it. They've been composed all year long, so the question is how they handle it if they get punched first in this one.
I'll tell you, I can answer that question for you, Darryl. I was looking over at their clock and at their scoreboard. It's 11 state championships in all for Bridgeport, starting in 1965, and again since 2013 they have won 5 state championships, including last year's. So it's like I said, that's the way that you design your stadium. That's the way that you design opponents coming in here. You want that intimidation factor. You want them to see those trophies. You want them to see all those state titles. In Bridgeport, this is one of the top-notch facilities in the state, and they've done a great job of putting everything together the way they have.
Absolutely. You get that feel as soon as you step on the property here. And, Darryl, you made a good point, the way they carry themselves. I mean, it seems like everybody, even the people working the parking lot, like it's like a uniform thing going down, and you can feel that. Just like momentum's a real thing, you can feel that type of stuff too, and that's what makes high school sports so fantastic.
Chapmanville won the toss, and they have elected to defer, so they will kick away to begin this contest. Again, last week on the opening kickoff, Greenbrier East took it all the way back for a touchdown to start that wild contest, and we'll see how things get going here tonight as the Tigers look to try and shock the state of West Virginia here on this Saturday night before Thanksgiving week begins next week. So we're so glad all of you are with us here on D&D Sports tonight.
Guys, first thing I was told when I come up the press box, a Bridgeport coach come over to me and said, "You guys the one that done the Tiger in Town special?" I said, "Yeah." They said, "We love that coach spoke on violence," said they haven't seen violence yet. And so Bridgeport is ready.
Well, with the state semis on the line, here we go this evening as McClanahan will send it deep inside the 10-yard line, and we're underway out across the 30, 35, and a big hit out across the 35 to about the 37-yard line as they bring down Graham Vincent after about a 30-yard return.
Looked like Keegan Craddock starting off with what he's done all year long as a gunner on the kickoff team. You know, that's off to a better start than last week when the Tigers gave up an opening kickoff touchdown.
So now we see this vaunted rushing attack for Bridgeport for the first time here tonight, and they've got some big boys along that offensive line to help aid this rushing attack. And as Dwain said, we may see a couple of different looks at quarterback here this evening from this Indian Ball Club as they'll go under center here on first down, snap it back deep. It'll be a quarterback run up the gut. A lot of collision right there at the line of scrimmage. A gain of about 3 on the play as a decent rush to get things started tonight for number 9 Bond.
It's pick your poison. You know, they can attack you so many different ways. Last week, they even set out one of their star running backs to get him fully healthy for this one. They didn't miss a beat. So the key is responsibility on the defense. Who are you keying on? Stay in your lane. Don't overplay. Keep the edge. Discipline for the Tigers defense.
Again, just trying to eliminate the big plays here tonight as well for this Bridgeport Ball Club as they get set on 2nd and 7. They'll rush it near side this time, trying to spin forward. A gain of about 5 on the play for Gavin Williams, and it'll bring up 3rd down and about 2.
A big stop there by Josh Porter, who's been doing it all season long. Gavin Williams, that's the player I was mentioning. He set out last week in the first round, and then the game before that, he had over 400 yards and 5 touchdowns. So to keep him at bay there, to bring up 3rd and short, nice start by the Chapmanville defense.
Guys, first quarter is sponsored by our friends at Aracoma Drug. Hit them up for all your pharmaceutical needs, located in Chapmanville, West Virginia.
So here we go on 3rd and 2, opening drive of the game. Bond back in as the deep quarterback here. And you never know who's going to get the ball, and they'll snap it over to Williams instead, or he'll get the first down as he's pushed forward to about the 48-yard line, and Williams will move the chains for Bridgeport.
Austin Atkins coming up from the secondary to make a stick there to keep the yardage to minimal distance, but it picks up the first and moves the chains for Bridgeport.
And again, if Chapmanville can do a solid job like this tonight, limiting these big runs, trying to get Bridgeport in 3rd down, not let them just go down in a couple of plays. Again, that can start to wear on you as the game goes along.
Yeah, if they don't break a long touchdown and they have to grind it, they're thinking, hey, this Tiger defense is for real. You want to create some doubt on this offense.
Now they come out with Bond And Williams deep once again here.
Ooh,
almost
man.
a false start there, it looked like, as they'll hand it off on the inside, trying to get free, but unable to break the tackle. Eli Knight is brought down after a short gain.
David Browning and company, and there for the stop. Definitely a false start there they missed. Yeah. I'm sure the refs might be nervous just like some of these players, but that was definitely a false start. Chapmanville keeps another minimal gain.
They call it home field advantage for a reason, guys.
Yeah, I was going to say that one was pretty obvious from the running back position there.
You'll probably see the comment section light up a bit there, Darryl.
Well, here you go, lining up. A lot of misdirection here. Even lost the camera guy a couple times.
On 2nd and 7, they'll give it off. Williams gets through the line of scrimmage, pounds his way forward inside the 40-yard line. He'll be down to about the 39, and another first down for Bridgeport.
That shows you the different looks, the different motions they have in this dominant offensive line play. Busted through the second level. Nice tackle there by Trey Ward at the end on Williams to save a big play or possibly a touchdown.
And that's the thing, everything's so quick hitting with Bridgeport too. If you make the wrong read, you're going to be in a lot of trouble real quick. And Chapmanville so far has done a solid job trying to read this defense. It's one thing to watch it on film. It's another thing to watch the offense in person. And right now, Chapmanville trying to find a way to slow down this Indian attack on the opening drive. As Bond will keep it this time, rushes up the middle, breaks free inside the 25 to 20, down close to the 20-yard line as he'll be upended there, and there's the first big run of the game for Bridgeport.
That's that quick hitter type you're talking about, Chris, there, and just a simple off-tackle run turns into a big gain. Once again, Trey Ward is the last line of defense and makes that tackle, but another dominating play by the offensive line. We would expect nothing else. We've seen the stats. We've talked about it. In a world of run and shoot, wide open offenses, this is a little different for this Tiger team to see.
So it'll be 1st and 10 again here for Bridgeport at the 22 of Chapmanville. They line up once again the shotgun formation. They'll hand it off. This time flag comes in. As we'll see what the call is here, as it looked like Landon Gillum got the handoff that time for a couple of yards. Let's see if this is coming back. And there'll be an illegal shift against Bridgeport.
And Bridgeport going right into the heart of the defense in the middle there with Jackson Topping and company. But a legal shift backs them up. Let's see if Chapmanville can turn this into a little bit of positive for them, because in a rushing attack like that, no matter how good you are at rushing the ball, to get them behind the sticks, second long, third long is what you want.
And I was going to say, running this type of offense, if you do it well, it looks tremendous. If you have not done this before, it is an illegal shift nightmare waiting to happen.
Absolutely. And that's where discipline comes in on their very disciplined team. You can already see that.
So it'll be 1st and 15 here for Bridgeport. First time behind the chains on this drive as Bond will keep it up the middle, breaks through a tackle. He's into the clear, and Bond is going to take it in for a touchdown with 7:48 to go here in the opening quarter as he got off that right side, squirted free, and he takes it 27 yards for the opening score.
Just as advertised, phenomenal blocking up front, a couple missed tackles, one missed tackle in the secondary. You can't miss tackles against an attack like this.
Let's look at that one more time, guys.
Again, you could see the inside blocking is a good seal by the guard that time, being able to eliminate the rush attempt by Chapmanville as the extra point is up and it is through, and it is 7-0 Bridgeport with 7:48 to go in the first quarter. Back after this as you're watching West Virginia High School football playoff action on the D&D Sports Network.
Got 1,200 people watching live.
The passion, the teamwork, the dedication. It's what makes this tournament so exciting. Jones and West Funeral Home and owners Marshall and Brandy West are proud to support our local athletes and wish good luck to all area teams. At Jones and West Funeral Home, we're honored to help families celebrate and remember the lives of their loved ones with dignity, respect, and care. For compassionate service when you need it most, visit Jones and West Funeral Home in Phelps. Jones and West Funeral Home, honoring lives, supporting our community.
Trey Ward and Austin Atkins back deep to return here for Chapmanville after the 27-yard touchdown run by Bond. As Tigers will take possession for the first time, Atkins brings it out across the 20, gets leveled near the 25-yard line. and the Tigers will start out 1st and 10 from there.
Big hit at the end there. Austin Atkins doing all he can do, but great coverage by Bridgeport. Now it's time to see what Dakota Dalton and the rest of the offense can do to answer. We knew they would have to. They gave up the ball first, so they're going to have to answer. They realize Bridgeport is as advertised, so it's time for them to answer the call.
Again, Grayson Sanders, our statistician, telling us it's 8 plays, 63 yards, 4 minutes and 5 seconds on that drive for Bridgeport. Well, Chapmanville was able to answer all last week. Let's see how they start out here tonight. A quick hitter over to Ward, and Ward out across the 30 to the 35, and he'll be right near first down yardage on the opening play.
Speaking of quick hitters, you could talk about the quickest man on the field, getting a quick pass out from Dalton, right up the field, moving the chains for Chapmanville.
Josh Castle in the Jim Mars service comment section says Bridgeport plays football like Belfry. Also, David Cantrell says Princeton beat Hoover by 7.
Yeah, I saw that game was tied late in the 3rd quarter, so the Princeton Tigers just hanging on to move on in the AAA bracket and keep their undefeated season alive. As Dalton fakes a pass, rushes out to the far side. He's got some room out there, takes it out, gets blocked by Atkins at the back end of it, and he'll be pushed out of bounds along the Chapmanville sideline for a good little gain on first down.
Nice play by Dakota Dalton. He gets a play action, then a pump fake, keeps his composure, runs around the end, and of course we've seen it time after time. QB1 finishing the play with lowering his shoulder, not just stepping out of bounds.
It'll be a gain of about 6 overall, it looks like. So giving progress to the 43. So 2nd down and 4 for Chapmanville, and that's the big thing for Chapmanville tonight. Just don't play behind the chains. They've got to stay in front of the chains, got to try and keep everything as positive as they can, as they'll go up the middle with Kovac this time. Runs into a wall, still pushing forward, and he got an extra yard out of that at the last second, surging, and that'll make it 3rd down and about 2.
Yeah, this is what they want, Chris. They don't want to be behind the chains, 3rd and short. The playbook's wide open. They have a great running game. They have a great play-action game. They have the wide receiver game. The playbook's wide open for Barker.
Now Dalton will go empty in the backfield here on 3rd and 2. 2 receivers to each side as they look back to the sideline here with 17 on the play clock. He'll bring Kovac back in here to the backfield. It's down to 10 on the play clock now. They'll snap it, give it off to Kovac. He tries to pull forward, but he gets pushed back instead, and it'll be a short loss on the play and bring up 4th down for Chapmanville.
Yeah, one of the few times we've seen the Chapmanville offensive line get blown up the middle. But, you know, that shows you, we talked about Chapmanville having to watch film. Bridgeport's done their job too. They know likely that Preston's going to get that ball on 3rd down and short. So big 4th down. We're already in a big-time play in this playoff action.
They actually gave him a little bit of forward progress there, so it's going to be 4th and about 1. And I agree going for it right here if I'm Chapmanville. So they bring Kovac into the backfield. They'll give it off to the big man this time, and this could be close. Bridgeport thinks they've got it stopped, but Chapmanville thinks they've got the 1st down. This will depend on the spot.
Guys, over 1,500 people tuning in between Facebook and YouTube to watch this matchup.
Looking down on the field again. We're at a little bit of a difficult angle on where the ball is right now, but it's right at the 46, which is right about where they needed to get to. So they bring out the chains here.
It's up to me they got it from where we're at, and they got it.
You hear the roar of the Chapmanville crowd. Big-time play. Converting that 4th down, continuing this drive. You know, we said the chain gang pretty quick in this game. I don't know if they can compare it to the Chapmanville Tigers chain gang. You got Jason Atkins and company down there running that. We didn't get to see them much, not too many short yardage plays in Chapmanville, but already converting a 4th down. You know that makes Coach Belcher and company very, very happy to keep this drive alive.
And again, it keeps the ball out of Bridgeport's hands as well, but now a flag comes down immediately.
Guys, if you're Chapmanville right now, you just can't fall behind on the scoreboard. You got to be able to keep pace with them because they're going to control the clock. So, you know, you got to make the best of your opportunities.
Well, they call a sideline warning against Chapmanville, so no penalty yardage on the play, but that is the first warning for Chapmanville. As Dalton will roll near side, fires deep downfield, dangerous pass, but somehow fits it into Ward. What a throw by Dalton, and what a catch by Ward.
What a throw by Dakota Dalton. That throw you don't see very often as well. He let that ball go before Trey Ward was even coming to the corner there, rolling to his left as a right-handed quarterback, turned those hips, put it only where his receiver can get it. Absolute perfect throw. Honestly, I think that's one of his top 5 throws of the year, Chris.
That's why he's being recruited by some of the top schools across America. You know, that kid, the touch, that's hard to find, especially a sophomore.
That is such a difficult throw.
That is a next-level throw right there by Dalton, and that was a tremendous job by Ward in all that traffic, keeping his concentration and hauling that in. So Chapmanville has a 1st and 10 at the Bridgeport 35. They give it to Collins for the first time tonight. Pinball's loose inside the 30, the 25, down to the 20, and Jeremy Collins, who's been so huge all year long, gives Chapmanville 1st and 10 on that 15-yard spurt.
The man who averages a first down and carry proves it once again. Pearl Jam Collins keeping this rolling into the red zone. Nice call there by the Tigers.
Close in on 5 minutes to go in the opening quarter. Bridgeport went down and scored on their opening drive. Chapmanville trying to answer right now as they converted a 4th down already on this drive. Now 2 back-to-back big gainers has them inside the Bridgeport red zone. They'll send Collins in motion to the high side. 4 receivers now up top. They'll go quick wide receiver screen, dangerous as that pass was broken on immediately by Bridgeport, and good job by Dalton keeping that pass low and away from Ward.
Yeah, they had that blown up. He went into the wide receiver who was blocking and just kind of pushed him right back in there. Very dangerous play. The Tigers are lucky to get it back 2nd and 10.
Danny Atkins says, "Come on, Tigers, bring it home." Ryan Queen says, "Princeton and Chapmanville will be state champs."
That'll be 2nd and 10 for Chapmanville at the 20-yard line. Again, they'll go empty backfield here. It's 4 receivers for Dalton. Likely going to get 4 cracks at it here if needed. He'll roll near side, throws it deep, Ward wide open. He makes the grab, and he's into the end zone. Touchdown, Chapmanville.
The Tigers with a big counter punch. We wondered if they could counter this juggernaut, and they showed what they could do again. They have seen something in this defense. Once again, Dalton rolls out to his left, over the top to Ward, who was wide open. Great touchdown drive by Tigers, and what a way to answer the defending champs.
Let's look at this one more time, guys.
Somebody just got lost in the wash right there for Bridgeport. Chapmanville did a good job jumbling up that part of the field as Farrell able to get that kick off the ground as it was low, and the kick is no good off of the bad snap. So 7-6, Bridgeport leads it with 4:36 to go in the opening quarter. We'll be back after this as you're watching high school football playoffs with us right here on the D&D Sports Network.
Looking for a new healthcare provider? Come see us at Tug Valley Wellness Clinic. We take all patients from the ages 2 and up. Our staff has over 30 years of medical experience. We do everything from DOT physicals, wellness exams, adult and child, walk-in visits, and more. Call us today at 304-236-3601 or reach us Monday through Friday.
We are back here, guys. We do apologize there as we're back from commercial break and onside kick.
Quick squibber up the field, fielded cleanly though by Bridgeport at the 35. Getting it out to the 40 is Sawyer Colacerto before he's brought down, and it'll be 1st and 10 for Bridgeport. So much like last week, Chapmanville able to answer the opening score. Now can the defense start to respond?
Yeah, the offense did their job there, with the exception of the special teams point after kick mishap. There was something we haven't seen a lot. So now it's turn to the defense. They need to get a stop, need to get Chapmanville's offense back on the field to keep this defense at bay. On the kickoff there, nice coverage tackle by Cooper Perry. So let's see what the defense can do on this drive.
And they did a good job limiting some of the runs on the first drive, but they finally saw Bond break one for a 27-yarder for the touchdown. It's on 1st down. They'll keep it over to the left side. Flag comes out. Going to be a good gainer out across midfield. Still on his feet inside the 40 as carrying people is Eli Knight for a big gain, but let's see what the flag is back near the line of scrimmage. And this is all going to come back as that'll be a holding penalty against Bridgeport.
That's definitely something the Tigers are going to have to watch, Chris. You mentioned misdirection at the start of the broadcast. That was a great counter, a delayed, like it's a very, very weird timing play. You know, you can tell they run that, but they did have the miscue there with the holding. So the Tigers get what they want. First and long. They're behind the sticks. You can't give up a big play now. Make them earn every single yard, create that doubt.
Again, Grayson Sanders telling us it was a 9-play, 76-yard, 3-minute, 5-second scoring drive for the Tigers. And now it'll be first down and about 18 here officially for Bridgeport as we hit the 4-minute mark of the opening quarter. Snap it back deep, rushing near side, grab from behind, trying to bring him down, but staying on his feet. Now into the clear goes Williams, and he can take it to the house. Collins giving chase, but not going to get there, and Bridgeport quickly answers back.
That's an example of never stop moving your legs. Williams with a fantastic run. You got to think there that Porter was afraid of getting a horse collar tackle. Nobody came.
I think he was afraid of it, and he let him go.
Yeah, nobody came to help. They got to have gang tackling. They got to have more than one person around the ball at all times, and this is something you don't want to see. Looks like Preston Kovac is coming off the field. He's been nursing an injury, so need to check up on that.
Yeah, and he said on Tuesday night, whenever we were down at Chapmanville Giovanni's doing our interviews and having our show down there, he said he felt as good as he had in quite a while. But again, with those nagging injuries, they are just hard to go away until season ends and you get a chance to get some rest, because the extra point is up and through, and Bridgeport takes a 14-6 lead here in the first quarter. Back after this as you're watching high school football playoff action on the D&D Sports Network.
If you got a big job to get done, don't just trust any flagging service. Call Diamond Flagging Service. Diamond Flagging Service keeps your community safe while also making sure it stays moving. Give Diamond Flagging Service a call today for their services. They also offer amazing job opportunities. Diamond Flagging Services, proud supporter of the Mountain Athletes.
Welcome back, everybody, here on the D&D Sports Network. Chris Kidd, Dwain Williams, Darryl McCoy, Michael Sean Waller with you this evening as a big hit laid on just past the 30-yard line on that short kick by Jalen Brown to try and prevent Ward or Atkins getting their hands on the ball, and now Chapmanville looking to try and answer once again.
Yeah, they answered the first punch. Now they got to answer an even bigger one. Very unfortunate play. Chapmanville was there initially on defense, and sometimes those things happen. And Chapmanville needs to have a few of those plays happen on their side as well tonight.
Again, Chapmanville's offense looked very good on that opening drive, going right down the field. Let's see if Bridgeport makes any adjustments now, as the Tigers come out here 1st and 10. At their own 34-yard line. Dalton with an empty backfield. Looks, fires deep over the middle's got Benji Atkins inside the 40. The big man rumbles inside the 30 and brought down by his shoelaces inside the 25.
Chris, I was wondering, we were going to see the big man at tight end, Benji Atkins. He only had one catch last week. What a play call there. You've got a guy who can rumble over top of any secondary player in the state with his size, and also has the soft hands to boot. Another great touch pass from Dakota Dalton. Another nice play call.
Chapmanville coming right out the gate, guys, and throwing on first down. That's something that's interesting. You know, they're wanting to get ahead here. So let's see how they come out here, see if you see another pass.
Well, people wondered if Chapmanville was going to be intimidated. You can see right now they are not.
No.
Again, they've been in attack mode from the get-go. They've not tippy-toed in here on the offensive side. They're coming full-on aggression out of the gate as they give it to Ward on the sweep, tries to get to the corner, but Bridgeport walls it off well, and that'll be a loss of about 1 on the play.
That's a new wrinkle we haven't seen so much. You saw the offensive line all blocking to the right, almost in a zone blocking style with a toss out to Ward, trying to get the ball in the playmaker's hands. You can't fault him for that, so I like that look. I wonder if we'll see it again.
That was number 12 on the tackle. Is that Aiden Godby?
Yeah, Aiden Gorby it looks like. So it'll be 2nd down, and look like a loss of half a yard back to the 25-yard line. So we're under 2.5 minutes to play in the opening quarter. And both teams have had the ball 3 times. Both teams with 3 touchdowns collectively thus far. So shades of last week already in this contest. They'll give it off to Collins. Collins patiently gets through the left side of the line. He'll pick up several as they'll drag him down at about the 22-yard line.
Yeah, we've seen them use Collins in different ways, tosses, draws, off tackle. They've lived off the off tackle, running off that left side with Dawson Aggins, and there was no different there. But we've talked about the offense of Bridgeport being disciplined, but their defense, you can already see, stay in their lanes, gang tackle, very disciplined as well.
Now it'll be 3rd down and 9 officially for Chapmanville. Again, it's 4-down territory here. Dalton will drop back, rolls to the far side, looking, fires deep downfield. Dangerous pass and almost intercepted as 2 Bridgeport defenders collided with each other to knock it loose.
Definitely dodged a bullet on that one, but that time Bridgeport, as soon as Trey Ward got behind him, 2 people ran to him. So they were expecting that. Yep.
Yeah. If he'd have went over top, Dakota Dalton, guys, comes in this game. He's got like an 84% completion percentage. Unreal.
Yeah, that's unreal for season-long stats. He's got like an 8-to-1 touchdown to interception ratio. It's just for a sophomore, only making his 2nd year of starting quarterback, it's just pretty good numbers. You can't really put into words what that is for a sophomore signal caller.
Now it's 4th and 9. The Tigers converted a 4th down on their opening drive. Can they do it again here? Deep over the middle. Benji Atkins wide open. Touchdown, Chapmanville.
How do you lose Benji Atkins? It's baby Gronk. He right down the middle of the field. Another touch throw. Great play call by the Tigers. They are not backing down, people. If you're expecting a total deer in the headlights moments from a small school coming from the South, you're not getting it in this one.
I tell you what, this Bridgeport crowd is a little stunned right now. I don't think they anticipated this Chapmanville offense was going to be as high-powered as it's been so far against this great Bridgeport defense. And I like Chapmanville's call here. They're going to go with the extra point. Don't chase points too early here. It was a bad snap the first time. This time to get it down clean, Farrell puts it up, and this time puts it through. And it is back to a 1-point game with 1:28 left in the first. Back after this as you're watching high school football playoff action here on the D&D Sports Network. to 13, Bridgeport leads Chapmanville as it's been offensive fireworks back and forth here in this first quarter. Chris Kidd, Dwayne Williams, Michael Sean Waller, Darryl McCoy here tonight for the state quarterfinal playoff action as McClanahan squibs it short. Bobbled, it's loose on the field. Big pile up. Chapmanville pointing as if they've got it right now, but let's see. Again, that was a little bit of a bobble by Colasurto that gave that opportunity, but it looks like Bridgeport is able to get it back.
Guys, I don't know if I like that. You know, that's tough giving this team short field to work with.
It's kind of a catch-22. You give them a short field, but also gives yourself a chance to make something happen. I think as an underdog, you kind of have to do that sometime very early on. But we saw last week with making a decision with a double pass at a very high intense moment. They're not afraid to make those calls.
That's true.
Yeah, if they could pull one off tonight, I mean, you're still a possession.
Yeah.
So that's definitely the thinking, and I like putting the pressure on Bridgeport to try and come up with those tough squibbers here this evening. As they go up the middle here on first down, Chapmanville ripping away at the ball, but hanging on to it is Bond for about a 2-3 yard gain on that carry.
You spoke of violence, talking about the teams talking about this on both sides, and you see the way the Bridgeport offense, they double team block, they block to the second and even third levels throughout every play. So Chapmanville is going to have to keep up their intensity on defense, but a nice job keeping on second and medium, second and long, not giving up that big play.
Joe Kinzer says Bridgeport is prone to start out slow this year.
I should say it was Landon Gillum on that last carry, so I apologize. It'll be 2nd and 7 for the Indians as they'll give it off near side. Now a big gainer coming up here for Bond as he gets across midfield, and he's wrestled down by Ward inside the 45-yard line.
The misdirection. After they hand that ball off, they carry out the fake pitch to the outside, which drew the linebackers over for a split second, which gives them that running lane on the second level. They're going to have to trust their eyes. They're going to have to see what they're hitting. They're going to stay in their lanes. They're not going to have to overreact. Classic example there of a team and a very aggressive, great defense overreacting a bit to the fake pitch and getting gashed up the middle.
And again, folks at home, it is just lightning quick reactions you have to try and slow down this Bridgeport offense. It is so efficient. As they'll give it off here to Bond. Flag comes down immediately as Bond gets tackled in the secondary by Ward after another big game, but this could be coming back.
Guys, Jacob Roosford says he now lives in Bridgeport, but the mountains will forever be his home. In the Jim Moore service comment section, Scott Weaver says, I don't think so. Connor Hensley says next play is a run, and Jody Stalling says I'm going to guess next play run. So.
I'll tell you what, we got some, Nostradamuses out there that are watching this. That's good to know.
Yeah.
We see that Odell Dingus gave us a shout-out from Little Hearts. He's always tuning in, especially to see that grandson of his, Benji Aggins, making a big touchdown grab.
Absolutely, and I'm sure your uncle's tuning in.
I guarantee Alvin Dingus is repping Westmoreland and Huntington right now, tuning in for this playoff action.
Well, let's step aside as quarter number one comes to a close, and what a first quarter it was. 14-13 Bridgeport, and we'll be back after this as you're watching high school football playoff action on the D&D Sports Network.
Smokey Armstrong here from United Motorsports of Belfry. Looking for your next adventure? We've got the motorcycles, side-by-sides, and ATVs needed to take your riding to the next level. Whether you're hitting the track, enjoying the trails, exploring the open road, or seeking comfort and style, we've got you covered with trusted brands like Honda, Polaris, and Kawasaki. At United Motorsports, we're not just about selling power sports, we're passionate about helping you find the perfect ride. Our team will work with you to customize your vehicle, offer expert advice, and provide top-notch service. No matter where your adventure takes you, ready to get started? Call us at 606-237-7311 or visit www.unitedmotorsportsbelfry.com or stop by today. Your next ride is waiting.
Start of quarter number two here from Bridgeport High School in the state quarterfinal playoffs. Chris Kidd, Dwayne Williams with you, Darryl McCoy, Michael Sean Waller here as well, as handoff up the middle doesn't go for much, as on the run is Eli Knight, and it'll be a gain of about a yard and bring up 2nd and 14.
Benji Aggins with a nice tackle there from behind after an early missed tackle, doing it on both sides of the ball.
Again, we got Coach May and Kevin Jones came over after the Mingo Central Frankfurt game.
Hats off to David Jones and them. What a season they had. Their 3 losses come from undefeated teams and teams that's still playing in the playoffs.
Yeah,
so
that says
no
a lot.
Shame. Yeah,
says a lot.
2nd and 13. Looks like Bridgeport wants a timeout here, and that'll be the first one used by either side here in the first half. So we'll be back right after this as you're watching high school football playoff action here on the D&D Sports Network.
Looking for a new healthcare provider? Come see us at Tug Valley Wellness Clinic. We take all patients from the ages 2 and up. Our staff has over 30 years of medical experience. We do everything from DOT physicals, wellness exams, adult and child, walk-in visits, and more. Call us today at 304-236-3601 or reach us Monday through Friday.
Everybody here to Bridgeport High School. Second quarter being brought to you by United Motorsports here tonight on the D&D Sports Network in this quarterfinal playoff clash, as it is 2nd down and 13 for Bridgeport and a 14-13 lead for the top team in the state and the defending state champions. So we'll get down in their stance, snap it back quick here, and met immediately as Chapmanville comes through and makes a big stop right away, as that's going to be no gain or maybe a gain of 1 at best.
Guys, people at home, you may not be noticing this, but they're not snapping it and handing it off. They're direct snapping it to one of the 3 backs. So that's why Chapmanville, they got their hands full every time, because it's a guessing game, really.
And it only takes that beat of hesitation to get their offense rolling. And on that defensive there, David Browning, Jackson Topping, multiple Tigers in there, and you can hear the crowd reacting. You're coming up on 3rd and long here.
Could this be the first time we see Bridgeport put it in the air this evening? On 3rd and 12, they'll rush it instead with Williams off the far side. He gets a big spurst inside the 40 before he's brought down. He'll be short of the first down, but that's going to make it 4th down and about 2 here for Bridgeport.
We knew that we're going to see an outstanding rushing attack, and this is the first time all season we've seen offensive running backs or offensive players get to that 2nd and 3rd level time after time against this Chapmanville's defense. They are double teaming specific Chapmanville defenders, getting to that 2nd level, so this secondary is going to have to be keying on everything and no missed tackles. A missed tackle is going to result to a touchdown.
My guy Dwain's got some jokes here, Chris, says they're going to pass it.
Well, let's see if they do here. Here's a 4th down for Bridgeport. Chapmanville's converted on 2 of their own, as Williams will keep it, and he just squirts past the 1st down line and keeps the drive alive for Bridgeport.
I'm proud to say it here at D&D, we talk a lot about the offensive and defensive line more than most broadcasts, even on national televised games, but you are seeing a battle right now with it between this offensive line and the defensive line of Chapmanville. They're just doing whatever they can to make this offensive line work, and it's a battle every single play.
Now we're down to 9:40 to go in the first half. Bridgeport picks up their first 4th down of the game, and they're at the Chapmanville 32 now. 2 drives for Bridgeport, 2 touchdowns, 2 drives for Chapmanville, 2 touchdowns. As they go up the middle this time, and almost breaking free was Bond, as he gets dragged down at the 26 for a gain of about 5.
And there's an example of that quick direct snap you talked about, Darryl, because we had defenders up the field already past the defender, and he had the ball right up the gut. That's why we're seeing the linebackers and the secondary having to make these calls. That direct snap and quickness and carrying out those fake tosses to the outsides, drawing eyes, they're drawing bodies to the outside, and taking those men out of the box.
Here at Logan Bank and Trust, we are committed to serving the needs of the Southern coalfields.
For any of your financial needs, we encourage you to stop by one of our 5 convenient locations.
Inside, but nice job by Chapmanville holding their water and staying in their lanes that time, as that'll be no gain on that carry.
That was Browning or number 50 on the tackle.
Jackson Topping, right at the mayor, making his presence felt right up the gut. They try to attack the strength that Chapmanville holds tight right there. I mean, Bridgeport knows they're up for a battle. I don't know if they came in thinking they were going to roll right over. I don't think so, because they're very well coached and spoke highly of this Tigers defense and opponent. But you can see that the Tigers making them work for every yard.
That'll be 3rd down and 3 as Bridgeport gets out of their stands. You have to change up the signal calls here. So they look to maybe go off the right side as they've done all night, but now we're going to get a whistle and maybe a timeout here. Let's see. Okay, it looked like an equipment issue with Williams that time, and so they stopped the play, and he has to come out for a play. So now they'll send in Gillum with a call here on 3rd and 3. 7:55 and counting here in the 2nd quarter. Again, which offense is going to blink first in this game? So they come to the line of scrimmage on 3rd and 3 from the Chapmanville 25. Snap it back, rush up the middle this time, and they're able to hold Bond. He won't get the first down, and it'll bring up another 4th down.
I talked about the previous play. The defensive lineman ran too far upfield. This time they had their eyes right. They had their gap responsibility intact. Brings up another 4th down. A huge, huge play here in this moment so early in a game like this.
Jackson Topping again in on that play.
They've been keying on him. I've seen them go after him with 2 double teams multiple times already in the first half, so they know that he is the key to get him off his spot.
And as odd as it may sound for a defensive lineman, this is the type of game for Chapmanville. You don't want to get into the backfield. You want to hold tight around that line of scrimmage, try and bottleneck things up as much as possible for Bridgeport. as they'll run it down the middle, and it will be a first down and more inside the 20 as Bond was able to break through, and another fourth down conversion for the Indians.
That shows you the Indians don't panic. They stick with their bread and butter. They don't care if it's fourth down, first down. They know their strength. It's a strong run, and you got to wonder how these runs are going to look as this game goes along. That is a big, physical, mauling offensive line. No matter how good a defense is, how can you stand up to this relentless running attack for the entire game?
We're down to 6:35 to go here on a long drive for Bridgeport. And that is their second fourth down conversion of this drive. So pitch it going near side on the direct snap. And once again, Chapmanville there holding it to a minimal gain and only 1 yard on that pickup as Bond just didn't have much real estate to run into.
No, defensive line once again on first. They've done really well on first down. It's been the third and fourth downs that's got them in trouble a bit. But on these first down stops, the defense looks really strong. And we talked at the beginning of the broadcast that maybe Chapmanville wants to keep the ball longer to keep Bridgeport off the field. It looks like Bridgeport's fine taking these long drives to keep that Vaunta Tigers offense over there.
Number 8 lost his helmet. 42 comes in for the Tigers.
So Sawyer Dalton checks in for Jeremy Collins for this play. On 2nd and 9, they'll run out wide with Williams trying to get to the corner, and Ward able to chase him down and get him out of bounds. After a couple of yards, it'll bring up third down again.
Sawyer Dalton immediately comes in, like you said, he comes in to sub in for Collins and takes the angle, forces him out wide, and Ward finishes it up.
So that'll be a gain of about 2, close to 3. It'll be third down. They'll call it 7 here as Bridgeport needs this inside the 8-yard line for a first down. Again, Chapmanville has been slowing down this Bridgeport running attack, but they haven't completely stopped it just yet. Could this be the drive to do so? So on 3rd and 7, Bridgeport comes out yet again. 2 deep backs here. They'll give it to Bond up the middle, breaks out of the first wave of tackles, gets inside the 10, but no further. And he's going to be brought down just about the 9-yard line. So they actually need inside the 7-yard line. So once again, it will be 4th and 2.
Do you take the points or do you try to push it in here?
I think they're going to go for it. I think they're so confident in the offensive attack. I know not saying much for me, but I'll definitely do it. The way I'm able to run the ball, I'll definitely keep the offense out there.
Number 9 for them, we don't have him on our roster, but he's a bad dude.
Yeah, that's Bond. He's the one they had to change numbers for at the beginning of the game, and he's the one in the backfield again here on 4th down. Can Chapmanville come up with a stop, but Bridgeport's going to call for time instead here with 5:13 to go in the first quarter. We'll keep things here with this being a crucial down upcoming.
Chris, let's go over the Jim Mar service comment section. Michael Markham says Dakota Dalton is for real. Said awesome young quarterback. Joe Kinzer says Dan McNamee played at Bridgeport. He does believe. We also see Mark Brumfield says it is just my old eyes, or is this line slightly moving prior to the snap? Dakota Bavano says, man, they run hard. Billy Mann says, make them pass, bring the house, can't stop the run, but slow it down. Trent Woody says, these are the type of plays I run in college football 26. Said easy yards. Dylan Dingus says that helmet came off hard. Billy Mann says not every play, but they are in on some. Shelly Nelson says tiger, tiger, tiger. Mark Coleman says bring safeties up. Said they've not passed it all game. Billy Mann says they bring everyone and put a spy deep. Jim Marr service comment section, guys, keep them coming. We'll read them at halftime. I want to thank you guys for tuning in. 1,800 strong just on Facebook, guys.
Now here we go, 4th and 2. Bridgeport 2 for 2 on 4th downs on this drive. Can the Tiger defense come up with a first stop of this game? It'll be Williams and Bond in the backfield here for Bridgeport. They'll give it to Williams. He finds a crease. He's inside the 5 and brought down right about the 1-yard line, and they'll spot him there. 1st and goal for Bridgeport.
More of the same, the quick snap right up the gut. Williams is their bell cow. Seems like when they need that important yard, that's the man they go to.
Yep.
Now that'll bring us under 5 minutes to go here in the first half. And Bridgeport now with a almost gimme putt, if you will, in golf at the half-inch line, and 4 downs to punch it in here. So bring Williams and Bond once again as the deep backs in the backfield for the direct snap. So snap it back to Williams. He'll take it off the right side, and he'll jump step into the end zone. Touchdown, Bridgeport.
Williams, you kind of think he's going to get that ball there. They have so many options. It's so hard to key on a player. You hear people say, well, key on this one, key on that to get a stop. With this offense, you can see already in the first half, you can't key on one player, but it does seem like Williams is their money man.
And again, Chapmanville's making progress in how they're forcing Bridgeport to work the ball down the field. So it seems like Andy Bender's trying to solve things little by little right now. But right there, Bridgeport showing their moxie, able to still take it in on 3 fourth-down conversions on that drive, as the extra point is up for Brown, and it is good. And with 4:35 left in the first half, Bridgeport takes a 21-13 lead. Back after this as you're watching the state quarterfinals with us right here on the D&D Sports Network.
Here at Logan Bank and Trust, we are committed to serving the needs of the Southern Coalfields.
For any of your financial needs, we encourage you to stop by one of our 5 convenient locations or apply online today at lbnt.com.
Whether you choose to stop by or visit us online, our team is here to help you every step of the way.
Buying a new home, expanding your business, choose Logan Bank and Trust. Let's bank together.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Back here, guys, as Bridgeport leads Chapmanville. Chris Kidd, Dwayne Williams, Darryl McCoy, and Michael Sean Waller on the call.
Now Austin Atkins will get a chance on the return here. Gets hit at about the 25, spins forward to about the 27, and it'll be first down for Chapmanville with 4.5 minutes to play here in the first half. As that last drive for Bridgeport, 16 plays, 8 minutes and 50 seconds, and 66 yards total. So Chapmanville made them work for every inch, but Bridgeport still found a way to punch it in.
Yeah, they know they're in a dogfight. They had to work for that, but the bottom line is they still scored, so it's time for Chapmanville. We keep using, well, I keep using the fighter analogy with the counter-punching, but, you know, if you're a counter-puncher, you got to do it once again.
They come to the line of scrimmage, 3 receivers to the bottom, 1 up top. As Kovac back out there after being carried off the field earlier this quarter. Dalton takes a snap. He'll roll to the high side, looking downfield. Under pressure now, lobs it deep downfield. Dangerous pass, and going to be just a little underthrown into double and nearly triple coverage that time. And now it'll be 2nd and 10 after that dangerous play.
Got that ball off just in time as he was rolling to his left. Defender was coming from behind, and he got rid of it. Very, very close to a strip sack there, but he put it up. And fortunately for the Tigers, it does fall safely to the turf on that one.
Chris, the Bridgeport, lot like Belfry, you know, they are a strong running team, and they struggle. Their weakness is the secondary because they don't practice against it much, you know. So, you know, I mean, that's what you're seeing right now. Chapmanville's noticing that and trying to exploit them through the air.
As we said, we've not seen a Bridgeport pass yet tonight, and Chapmanville's been exclusively going to the air. They lob one deep again here on 2nd down, and Ward almost coming up with a grab and tough coverage that time, and now it'll bring up 3rd and 10.
Great pass protection by the offensive line. That ball was put up there. Not sure if we had a little bit of confusion. Typically when you see 2 receivers in the same area that close, you're bringing defenders on top of each other, but the ball was still put on target there. A catchable ball, but a very, very tough catch it would have been in traffic.
They said, is it raining here? No, it isn't raining. It is cold here, though.
So now a huge 3rd down here for Chapmanville. Again, neither side has gotten a stop yet in this game. Could this be the first time as Bridgeport's fans getting into it here, trying to force a Chapmanville punt? 4 receivers for Dalton. Has time, lobs one deep towards the sideline. A lot of contact out there. And will they get a flag? Yes, they will.
That's why you put it up sometimes there, Chris. You know, you put it up when you see traffic. That's part of it. There was definitely contact before the ball got there. So Chapmanville gets a flag there, and this drive will continue.
Well, right there, if you look, you know, Dakota Dalton, one of the best at carrying out play fakes. You know, that's the part of his game that people don't realize that makes him so special is his IQ, you know, his play fakes, his hard counts. You know, that's the difference between Dakota Dalton and other sophomore quarterbacks.
You have to have things like that with quarterbacks. They have the intangibles. And I don't know if you can see it on the broadcast, the coaches and staff all the way out on the field talking to the white hat. Very, very dangerous there to get unsportsmanlike. You can hear it from the fans, but the coaching staff is way out on the field there following that flag.
And I'm a little surprised at Bridgeport's reaction to that. It seemed pretty obvious that was pass interference.
when you go back to – great play there by Ward going back to make a play on that ball to get the contact. If he doesn't make that effort, that doesn't get called.
That'll be 1st and 10 for Chapmanville at the 42. They give it off to Kovac. He's drilled in the backfield right near the line of scrimmage, actually. I thought that ball might have come out for a second, but Kovac able to take the hit and hang on.
Yeah, by the reaction, I think you're right, Chris, because the way everybody reacted there so quick. So another bullet dodged there by the Tigers, and they got to be careful here. The crowd's getting amped up. They don't want to get tight, keep playing their game. And you can tell Kovac, for all the effort he's put in, you got to feel for the kid. He's not 100%. He's still in there grinding it out, though.
Yeah, I don't know why the clock stopped there for about 10 or so seconds, but now the clock winding again. It is 3:50 to go in the first half. Dalton will operate out of an empty backfield this time. Rolls to the near side. Looks over the middle. Tough pass as Adkins tried to come back for it and incomplete.
First look we've seen of the empty set from there, but great job by the Bridgeport secondary to be alert there. It really didn't give Dalton anywhere to throw.
Now it'll be another 3rd and 10 here for Chapmanville. As Dalton 0 for 4 so far on this drive, as Bridgeport trying to make the adjustment in the secondary. They've done a good job so far. Now can they get the stop to get off the field?
You're getting them DBs to fall back now. You'd like to maybe see a delayed handoff or something right here, get them sleeping.
Or a quick slant to Trey Ward. They involve the quick slant to get him back off there. If we can get him a quick slant, open field, anything to get him some space right now.
Dalton will take it to the high side, looking, fires deep downfield. Adkins out there, couldn't come up with it. And now it'll be 4th and 10 with 3:36 left in the half.
Another ball right on the money, a very tough catch there, But we've seen Chapmanville really likes this rolling left. They're attacking the left side of the secondary, of Bridgeport. And we've seen time and time again that Dalton does have that ability to throw rolling to his left. So that gives you the whole field. So no sign of the punting team. Chapmanville, 4th down and 10, going for it.
And I like the call here for Chapmanville. You've got to gamble several times, if not more, in this contest to try and pull off the upset. They're 2 for 2 on 4th down so far tonight. Can they do it again here on 4th and 10? Dalton has time, now running out of time. He tried to escape, and he's going to get sacked deep in the backfield. And there's the first stop of the game for either side. And looks like Dalton may be slow to get up here as well, as he was landed on hard, trying to roll out to the far side, and he's being checked on now by the Chapmanville training staff.
God, I hope that's not a collarbone, any issue like that, the way he landed.
Yeah, again, that's what I was kind of thinking myself, Dwain. Again, with the way he was running to the far side and the way he got landed on, you could easily think that could be part of the injury here. And this is a huge moment in this game right now. Again, not only the stop, but now the health of your starting quarterback.
Yeah, absolutely. Just trying to make something, make a play happen there. A lot of people will say throw that ball away, but when it's 4th down, he's just trying to make a play there. He's trying to extend the play. This kind of stuff happens, so we really hope he's okay.
He is able to get to his feet here and go over to the sideline. So hopefully Dakota will be okay as he goes to get checked on. But now the defense finds themselves behind the 8 ball, as it'll be 1st and 10 Bridgeport at the Chapmanville 33.
That's where you'd like to see Dalton throw that one away.
Yeah, even though he's trying to make that play on 4th down, but there's nothing going to happen there. Get rid of that ball, save yourself. But as we talked about earlier, he always finishes plays. He likes to, finish runs even when it's not a 4th down. He does not back down. He's a physical quarterback, and that just goes with what makes him who he is.
Now Bridgeport trying to take a 2-possession lead for the first time in this game. So snap it back, rushing near side is Bond, trying to get to the corner, able to turn up field inside the 30 and brought down about the 25 after an 8-yard gain.
Austin Killen comes up and makes a play at the end after a good game by the Indians offense. And you gotta love the effort by the defensive line. David Browning, Porter, they're running that play down even after there's almost a 1st down. The hustle's there, and looks like a Bridgeport player coming off.
Yeah, Bond's the one that was injured on that play, and now he limps off the field.
I have to say, playoff intensity is definitely amped up. This is by far the most physical game that I have seen this season.
So that'll be 2nd down and 2 for Bridgeport. 2:45 and counting in the first half. Again, Chapmanville gets the ball to start the third quarter as Williams will keep it off the right side. The first down, breaks out of a tackle inside the 20 and brought down finally at the 18-yard line.
Jackson Topping moving from his nose tackle position to get that tackle on the second level. But once again, we just see an example of the Bridgeport offense, getting that firing off, perfect timing, quick snap, and you look and they're 3 yards deep before they get any contact.
Yeah, just sitting here, guys, looking, this stable of backs for Bridgeport, these guys run hard. These rushers, they are intense.
Bond still trying to walk off the injury on the sideline. Looks to be his left leg that he's favoring right now as they try and pitch it out. Instead, go right up the gut with it. About a 3-yard burst that time for Gillum. And looks like they'll spot him at the 16, so it will be a gain of 3.
We heard from their fans that they run the same offense from youth league to middle school on up, and you can definitely tell. It's like the old Dwain high school football teams. They're just Belfry. Those teams like that, and this is a very complicated offense. A lot of people think because it's old school and the wishbone type stuff is, easy. That takes the most precise and precision than any other offense there is.
It does. People don't understand, you step back with the wrong leg, you've blown the play up.
Absolutely.
Vince Lombardi once said, if you run it right, they won't stop it.
Yep.
As they give it off to Williams, trying to get outside, grabbed by his feet right now, being held up, and the cavalry arrives for Chapmanville, and that'll be stopped short of a first down. Bring up third down and about 3.
Great job stringing that out by the defense to keep the gain at minimum, using that sideline to their advantage. And, once again, they're in third and short. We've seen it time and time again. Bridgeport and their defense answered the call last drive against the Tigers. It's time for the Tigers defense to get a stop.
Guys, Logan head coach Mark Hatcher tuning in. He says guys are playing with a lot of guts and a lot of fight. Said hope Dakota can get back out there.
When that guy's ready to hit the hardwood soon, isn't he?
Yeah.
So he's watching his playoff action. Mark Hatcher's fired up. So now 3rd and 3. Williams will take it up the middle, but he's met and brought back. And it's going to bring up 4th down again for Chapmanville. Can they get the stop?
And main thing, guys, is you're sitting here, 40 seconds left in the first half. You like to see Mark Hatcher and the Mountain folks cheering on whatever teams are left.
Absolutely.
At this time of year, everybody becomes Mountain football fans.
That's true. The big rivalry, that's a rivalry school and a big-time rival in the basketball program. But you see that time and time again when these other teams, you see the Chapmanville coaches cheering on Logan when they're not playing against them, and right there's a prime example of that.
They're going to try to kick it here. It looks like, watch the fake, though.
Yeah, again, Bridgeport looks like they may call for time here. I think I saw them signaling they want to get a timeout with as little time left as possible here. There's 3 on the play clock. Instead, they'll snap it. Brown kicks. It's blocked right at the line of scrimmage. Chapmanville looking to pick it up. Ward does. Now Ward has an opportunity here. The 30, 35, 40. Can he outrun a man? No, just brought down past midfield.
Wow.
And that will end the first half. And Chapmanville with a great stand to keep this in a one-possession game.
I said the defense had to answer the bell, and did they ever? And that's the last person that Bridgeport wanted to see to pick that ball up. Bridgeport's they're thinking they're lucky stars that Trey Ward didn't house that one.
Well, what a first half this was. Teams go back and forth down the field in the first quarter. Second quarter, a little bit more of a defensive fight on both sides, and it's #1 defending state champion Bridgeport in a fight they didn't totally anticipate here tonight, as they only lead it 21-13 here at intermission. Well, let's step aside for a break, Darryl. Come back and we'll talk about the first half after this, as you're watching high school state quarterfinal action right here on the D&D Sports Network.
If you got a big job to get done, don't just trust any flagging service. Call Diamond Flagging Service. Diamond Flagging Service keeps your community safe while also making sure it stays moving. Give Diamond Flagging Service a call today for their services. They also offer amazing job opportunities. Diamond Flagging Services, proud supporter of the Mountain Athletes.
Smokey Armstrong here from United Motorsports of Belfry. Looking for your next adventure? We've got the motorcycles, side-by-sides, and ATVs needed to take your riding to the next level. Whether you're hitting the track, enjoying the trails, exploring the open road, or seeking comfort and style, we've got you covered with trusted brands like Honda, Polaris, and Kawasaki. At United Motorsports, we're not just about selling power sports, we're passionate about helping you find the perfect ride. Our team will work with you to customize your vehicle, offer expert advice, and provide top-notch service. No matter where your adventure takes you, ready to get started? Call us at 606-237-7311 or visit www.unitedmotorsportsbelfry.com or stop by today. Your next ride is waiting.
We are back here in Bridgeport, the 304 Motorsports Park halftime show with Chris Kidd, Dwayne Williams, Darryl McCoy. Guys, let's thank our sponsors real quick for making today's game possible. Rebound Physical Therapy and Sports Performance, Blessings and Blooms, Smell My Tarts, Perry Brothers Ponds, 304 Motorsports Park, Jim Mars Services, Chiefs Roadhouse, your go-to Roadhouse in Logan, West Virginia, United Motorsports, 3 locations for your convenience, Belfry, Danville, and Logan, Eric Homa Drug, Precision and Heating, your go-to experts in heating and cooling needs this winter, Cheech's Pizza, Hill Chiropractic, Tug Valley Wellness Clinic, Southside Buildings and Carports, locations in Chapmanville, Louisa, and Belfry, Logan Regional Medical Center. If you have a healthcare emergency, go to Logan Regional Medical Center, the best emergency room in the coalfields. Why I Care, Diamond Flagging Company, Quality Metal Roofing. Guys, with this winter, snow lays on your roof and weighs down your roof, and you don't want to be caught in an emergency in these harsh southern West Virginia and eastern Kentucky winters. Call Quality Metal Roofing today and make sure you protect your home and your house. Wayne Runyon Insurance. Guys, with that being said, that is the sponsors for tonight's game. Let's go real quick before we get to the 304 Motorsports Park halftime update. Let's go over some comments. Pam Barker says she's tuning in. Drew Brown says, go Chapmanville. Said, let's finish this strong. We also see Josh Conley says, come on, Chapmanville. Ryan Queen says they haven't passed the ball yet. Then we also see Riley Baisden says, Tiger, Tiger, Tiger. Guys, we're an interactive broadcast. Let us know where you're watching from and who you're rooting for in the comment section below. Chris Kidd, Dwayne Williams, Michael Sean Waller, and Darryl McCoy on the call.
And I tell you, in the first half, again, a lot of people expected Bridgeport to be able to go right up and down the field, and they did for the most part, getting into the end zone 3 of the 4 times that they had the football, Dwayne. Chapmanville, though, able to answer a couple of times and get that big stop at the end, including that blocked field goal that all of a sudden keeps this at a one-possession game with Chapmanville getting the ball in the third quarter.
Yeah, we said they had to answer, just like the Bridgeport defense did as well, and they actually kept points off the board. Bridgeport trying to make it a 2-score game with that field goal, even though they've been running the ball on 4th downs, but you can't follow the call to make it a 2-score game. And Chapmanville comes up big, and Bridgeport had to be holding their breath when they saw Trey Ward get his hands on that ball after the block. But I'm sure a lot of the scoreboard watchers across our state are shocked at this halftime score right now.
Yeah, because I'd say there's a lot of people, saying Chapmanville was going to be 10-1, they were going to be a 1-and-out. Yeah. Everything else. I think even those naysayers have got to look at this now and say, look, regardless of if they go on to win or lose this game, this Chapmanville team was for real. And, they're in position right now to pull off a real huge upset if they can come out and get a score, put the pressure on Bridgeport. You might see this team that's won state championship 25 games in a row, you might see them start to crack a little bit.
Yeah, you got to put that pressure on a team who's expected to blow you out, and I'm sure they know they're in a game. And we talked about seeing comments throughout the week from fans, and of course it is fans talking. People are talking about, Bridgeport's had a running clock every single game this year in the second half versus really good competition. So Chapmanville has not blinked. We've got to worry now we got to see about the health and the status of the quarterback Dakota Dalton and see what his, I'm sure he's available. We haven't heard otherwise wise. I think he's good. So that's good news for Chapmanville. But Chapmanville has proven no matter what, there's no such thing as a moral victory, especially when you're talking to coaches and players. They don't want to hear about moral victories. But if they happen to go on and lose this game, they have proven they belong in this class and with the top of this class.
Breaking news, producer KJ tells us Lane Kiffin signs a $90 million contract with LSU.
I thought he said he wasn't going anywhere.
I
can't believe that.
You can believe Lane Kiffin.
He's making that Mark Hatcher money, ain't
he? Mark's sitting in the house like, I wish. I was going to say, I would have stayed in coaching if that kind of money was in on it in high school.
Mark would coach football for that money.
Yeah. Oh, but, man, I mean, you saw Chapmanville just, taking off the field. I mean, you could see the exuberance, the excitement after that blocked field goal attempt. Dakota Dalton was one of the ones that was kind of jumping around coming off the field as well, so he looked really excited. Appeared to be okay, thankfully. We don't know about Bridgeport, one of their star running backs, Kason Bond. Like we said, we saw him go down with that left leg injury late in that last drive, so it'll be interesting to see if he's okay to come back. But if he's not, it does limit what Bridgeport wants to do. Even though they've got 3-4 backs that they like to run primarily, it does take one chess piece off the board.
Yeah, anytime you lose a primary player, it does. We talked about creating doubt. When you have a team that's such a big favorite as Bridgeport, when you're on the opposite side of that as the Chapmanville Tigers are, you have to create doubt, let them know they're in a dogfight. They know that. They probably expected to be up more. Now they're only up one possession. Chapmanville comes out, they get the ball. If this offense comes out rolling like they did the first couple drives, that puts even more pressure on the Indians.
I tell you what, confidence is a big key. Chapmanville has it now. Mm-hmm. Everybody counting them out. Although they're going to play at Bridgeport. This is a one-score game at halftime. They get the ball at half.
I'm sure if you asked any of the coaching staff or the players before the game, if you can go into halftime down by one score and you're getting the ball, will you take that? They would gladly take it. So they're in a fantastic spot for them right now.
Absolutely. And Dakota, I was up top watching. I'm just speculating. I think he got the wind knocked out of him. That's what it looked like. Because he was over there after he sat down and throwing a few balls, and like you said, coming off, going to the locker room, he was hyped up. So I believe he's going to be all right in the second half.
Again, we've got about 12 minutes before the start of quarter number 3. Let's step aside for a break and be back after this as you are watching the high school football quarterfinal playoffs with us right here on the D&D Sports Network.
Southside Buildings and Carports and Southside Shed Hunters of Louisa, Kentucky offers shed hauling services up to 16 by 52 long buildings. We also have lofted cabins, utility cabins, garages, man caves, she sheds that you can customize and order to your wants and needs with many different options such as workbenches, shelving, transom windows, and much more. You can go to the location or buy using 3D Builder's online order system. You can build right from your own home. We offer metal garages and carports that are built to any size and installed right on your property. For more info, call 304-928-0060 or 304-928-0062. Here at Southside Buildings and Carports, we've got you covered. Come on down to Three Guys Pizza and Brew in Williamson, West Virginia. We're located on the corner of Harvey Street and 3rd Avenue. We got great deals on pizzas, sandwiches, and more. You get great service with great pricing. Enjoy your birthday or ball games with us here at Three Guys Pizza and Brew. Look forward to seeing you.
Unfortunately, water, mold, or fire damage can happen to you. Restoration One of Southern West Virginia is available 24/7 to help take the stress out of your mess. Our primary goal is to respond and restore your property back to normal as quickly and safely as possible. When disaster strikes, Restoration One is your go-to cleanup crew. Save our number now in case you need us later. Whether the job is big or small, give Restoration One a call. 304-443-4959.
All right, guys, we are back here. You're watching the 304 Motorsports Park halftime show. Rebound Physical Therapy Sports Performance, Blessing and Bloom, Smell My Tarts, Perry Brothers Pond, 304 Motorsports Park, Jim Mars Services, Chiefs Roadhouse, United Motorsports, Aracoma Drug, Precision Heating and Cooling, Chicha's Pizza, Hill Chiropractic, Tug Valley Wellness Clinic, Southside Buildings and Carports, Logan Regional Medical Center, your healthcare experts, YI Care, Diamond Flagging Company, Quality Metal Roofing, and Wayne Runyon Insurance are the sponsors tonight. And on the Jim Mars Service comment section, I want to thank you guys for tuning in, sending stars. We do appreciate them. Matthew Deskin says it's been a great game so far. Bridgeport has a strong running game. Chapmanville has speed and athleticism, though. Billy Mann says if Chapmanville don't figure it out, that run game, it's going to be over for them quickly. And Gail Brumfield says go Tigers. Lonnie Hayes says quick scoring drive from the Tigers to start the second half is what we need. And we also see Chris Bishop says he thinks that Bridgeport has overlooked Chapmanville. And Bonnie Adams says stop their run game. Go Tigers. You've got this. Chris Kidd, Dwayne Williams, Darryl McCoy on the call with Michael Sean Waller, engineering.
Well, I'm going to drop some knowledge on those people watching right now. You know, if Chapmanville just scores more points, they're going to win this game. I mean, sorry, I had to throw in my stupid 2 cents. But, yeah, again, Chris Kidd, Dwayne Williams, Michael Sean Waller, Darryl McCoy here. And, you know, Michael, he was down in the restroom during halftime, Dwayne, and he said there's some older Bridgeport fans in there kind of talking with each other, said they don't remember a game being this close in a long time, and normally the clock's running already for them to head home at this point. So this is interesting. I think Chapmanville, they are earning respect with every second that ticks off this clock right now. And now you go to this second half, they get the ball to start the second half. If they go down and score to start this third quarter, boy, oh boy, could you start to see maybe a lot of nervous energy creep into this stadium.
Yeah, you could feel the nervous energy a bit from the crowd when Chapmanville answered the call a couple times there. And, you know, that's a pat on the back there for some old-time fans who've seen it all, been around, and to know they're in a dogfight, because the Bridgeport team, they definitely know they're in a fight as well. And, you know, it might be a good omen for the Tigers. I saw a comment here, Darryl. It said, do y'all remember when Bobby Boucher came back at halftime and the Mud Dogs won the Bourbon Bowl? Since we have our own Bobby Boucher and Sawyer Dalton, it might be a good sign for the Tigers.
Guys, just sitting here real quick, this third quarter is sponsored by your guys' favorite sponsor, and that is, where do you go for your favorite candles, tarts, and more?
Considering that Ryan Craddock was in my class, and I know what he knows what a tart smells like, you got to go to Smell My Tarts with Brookie Craddock and Company.
There you go. They smell a lot of tarts in that Craddock family.
Yes.
The best named business in the state.
Yeah.
Well, now we get ready to start the third quarter here. And, again, it was a blocked field goal by Chapmanville. After they failed on 4th and 10, Chapmanville came up with a blocked field goal to get the stop. And now they get the ball to start in the third. And, again, they were running off the field very exuberant. Mm-hmm. Bridgeport was kind of walking off the field a little bit dazed. And, I mean, they're the team that's up right now. But they've never only been up by 8 going into the second half, and all this time they've won 25 straight games. This season's just been blowout after blowout. So it'll be interesting to see how they respond, much like how we wondered how Chapmanville would respond to being in a game last week.
That's right, Chris. This isn't last week with a 56-6 win over Pikeview. This team is in a dogfight, and I've mentioned that time and time again, because when you watch these two lines play, it is a fight. It's physical, and we talked about during the halftime, if you would ask anybody on that Chapmanville sideline, if at halftime you were down by 1 score with the ball coming out, they would have all taken that right there.
They're asking, Chris, is Dakota Dalton okay? I think he just got the wind knocked out of him.
Yeah, again, he was one of the ones that was running off the field, appeared to be unencumbered as he was going off the field, but I'd say we'll find out pretty quickly here how well he's doing as we start the third quarter, as Brown will send it deep. Trey Ward will have a chance here. Loses it, but picks it up out across the 15 to 20. Tries to cut back inside. Now gets to a corner to the 30 and out to about the 32-yard line. So decent field position for Chapmanville to start the second half.
Even with the bobble, Trey Ward's very dangerous, and we've seen time and time again in any game that anytime there's a bobble, it could throw off the attack from the coverage team. They did a great job staying in their lanes, but Trey Ward did still make something out of nothing. And we see Dakota Dalton taking the field once again after that scare at the end of the first half, and I'm really anxious to see what Coach Belcher, the OC, Coach Barker has to do with, because I expect a different wrinkles. I'm curious to see if we'd see more quick wide receiver screens or slants, something quick.
Let's see, and that's what they go to right away as they hit Ward. Ward tries to get outside, gets around one of the defenders, cuts back inside. He'll have the first down and push down after about a 12-yard pickup.
Just call me Tony Romo, Chris. I finally got one right. I was expecting to see that. So here we go, Jim.
I love it. Yeah, you know, Dalton, he was 5 of 11 in the first half for 116 yards, 2 touchdowns. Ward, that's now his 4th catch for the game, 63 yards total and a touchdown. And most of those incompletions came on that last drive. So Dalton has had a very efficient first half.
Congratulations on a great season. We see Mingo Central head coach David Jones tuning in. His season come to an end. But listen, guys, a great season by the Miners, as we talked about. Their only 3 losses come to undefeated teams that's still playing in the playoffs.
Absolutely. And, again, I got to see them a couple times this year. It's a very, very talented group, and David Jones did a fantastic job all season long with the Miners, so congratulations to them.
We talked about seeing two. Sorry, Chris. We talked about seeing two great coach teams here on the field tonight, and the Miners was just another example of that, just being so well coached from top to bottom.
Chapmanville native Jake Altizer's birthday, so happy birthday, Jake Altizer. Said he was the mascot in Chapmanville.
Oh, well, there we go. I was going to say, I love it when the Tiger would run around. So always had an extra flair. But, big right there, Dwain. Bridgeport just burned a timeout 32 seconds into this second half. So, again, that's one already gone. And timeouts are so precious in the second half. Now they come out, does Chapmanville after the first play of the half, a gain of 12. Now 1st and 10. Quick over the middle, they hit Benji Adkins, and they'll pick up close to 5 on that catch and run. And you called it, Dwayne, right out of the break. The DBs are starting to back up more, trying to not give up the big play. And James Barker and that offensive staff, they've noticed it. They've gone to 2 quick hitting passes.
Yeah, like they've done all year, Chris. Their adjustments have been fantastic. We saw that secondary creeping back because of the speed on the outside. And Dakota Dalton's taking what the defense has given him. We saw a pass to Trey Ward right there to Benji Adkins, who continues a great game so far here in the second round of the playoffs. And you see some talking out here on the outside of the receivers, and they're set to go.
Benji's got 3 catches now for 70 yards and a touchdown tonight. Dalton loads up, goes deep downfield. Ward leaps. He comes down with it inside the 25 and a first down for Chapmanville.
And what do you do when you do the short passing game to get them drawn up a little bit? You go back to the deep shot. Great job by Trey Ward. He's known only as a straight line sprinter, but we've seen time and time again he can adjust his body, basically boxing that ball out, defender out again, and another great ball by Dakota Dalton, putting it up there where his man can go and get it.
And there you saw it. Trey Ward is a basketball player too, and you saw it right there, like Dwayne said, just boxing out the defender and making that grab. Now they go to the quick hitter on the outside, and Ward loses it. Let's see what we call here.
He got lucky, guys.
Got it back. Yep. That's twice Chapmanville, maybe 3 times if the Kovac play was a fumble when he got back. So that's 3 times that we've seen them dodge a bullet. I don't know how many more times you can do it. So Chapmanville has to focus on ball security right now. The temperature's dropping. You see the dew falling. We've had some viewers thinking there's some rain, but it's just the dew. So ball security. They're nearing their red zone. They cannot afford a turnover on this drive.
Guys, a lot of weight put from Zach Belcher on his young quarterback's shoulders. Preston Kovac hurt right now. Who would have thought Chapmanville would still be in this with Preston Kovac making very little impact in this game due to his injury?
And now we get an unsportsmanlike conduct call against Bridgeport after the play, and that's going to be a first down for Chapmanville. And, again, we talked about it. Bridgeport's not been in a game like this in a long time. You could see them possibly start to come unglued if this game continues to stay tight.
Yeah, we talked about creating doubt, but you also got to wonder about losing your composure when you put your back against the wall for the first time. Chapmanville had to experience their first bit of adversity last week. They went through it, so now it's Bridgeport's turn.
Keep Kovac in your prayers, folks.
Absolutely. Now first down for Chapmanville. They give it off to Collins up the middle, breaks through, squirts into the secondary, and he gets off a big gain inside the 10. And Chapmanville knocking on the door now to start this third quarter.
This is where it would be nice to have Kovac in this situation.
Absolutely. Again, Kovac's been fighting so hard to try and get out, be a part of this playoff run. He had a huge game last week, 202 total yards in that win over Greenbrier East. But tonight, again, just those injuries continue to pile up for him. And the senior being reduced to a spectator right now, hoping his team can give him another opportunity next week. Now it'll be 2nd down and 2 for Chapmanville. Dalton rolls out to the high side, looks, fires, and that'll be incomplete. Good coverage that time, and probably the right throw. Just get rid of it, put it only where your receiver might have a chance.
Definitely the right throw. A lot of people might look at that and say, well, he missed him. That play was not open. You live to fight another day. In the previous play, we saw multiple passes before that, the defense backing up, and then just great blocking. Robinette up front, Levi Robinson getting some push, and Collins getting that. So great job of mixing in the run at the right time. But now that Chapmanville's got 2 chances to get it in from here.
Here's Kovac back in the game, guys.
They bring out the big bull here on 3rd and 2. How much juice does he have left? They give it off to him. He got away from one tackler, fights forward, and he'll have the first down.
What guts. Not only is he not 100%, they were in the backfield immediately, taking his legs out from under him. He still finds a way to pick up that first down. Chapmanville, 1st and goal, and you know they got 4 cracks at it. Great heart and hustle by the People's running back.
6'3", about 215. Here's where I give it to Dakota Dalton and tell him fall forward.
Yeah, again, like you said, we got 4 cracks at it here. If I'm Chapmanville, I'm going to pound away at it. They give it to Kovac, fights forward. He's into the end zone, and Chapmanville back within 2 on the opening drive of the 3rd quarter.
Just call the Tigers Floyd Mayweather the greatest counterpuncher of all time, because they've been punching them out. Their defense got that blocked field goal in the first half. The defense comes out, changes, new wrinkles, attacking. They're coming out. Looks like they're going for 1 here, Chris.
Yeah, again, I wouldn't go for 2 until I had to.
Plenty of time left.
Yeah, and keep this at a 1-possession game if you can keep converting the extra points. As Altizer will hold, gets it down, and now it's going to be a fake. They're going to run the reverse here. It's not there. They throw it through the back of the end zone and incomplete. So they tried to go with a little trickeration and come up empty.
I don't know about that, guys. I think if I'm going to go for it, I want my studs out there going for it.
And so 8 minutes, 11 seconds to go in the 3rd. It's 21-19 Bridgeport. We'll be back right after this as you're watching high school football playoff action here on the D&D Sports Network.
If you got a big job to get done, don't just trust any flagging service. Call Diamond Flagging Service. Diamond Flagging Service keeps your community safe while also making sure it stays moving. Give Diamond Flagging Service a call today for their services. They also offer amazing job opportunities. Diamond Flagging Services, proud supporter of the Mountain Athletes.
To 19, Chapmanville trails Bridgeport. They go onside. They hit a man up front with it, and Chapmanville thinks they've got it. Do they? They do! It's Tigers ball and a chance to take the lead for the first time tonight.
We talked about the Tigers needing plays like this, Chris, before the game. They needed the big turnaround, the extra possession. They go onside again. You got to love it. I agree with this 100%. Such execution. You listen to the crowd. You look at that sidelines. They want to put pressure. You look at the silence. Look at the body language on the Bridgeport sidelines. They know they're in a fight. They just lost a possession. If Chapmanville can score here, we will see if Bridgeport can answer the bell.
In that last drive, 7 plays, 3 minutes, 40 seconds, and 68 yards, and now they steal a possession from Bridgeport. Can they make them pay? They go to Collins on the ground. Collins fighting forward inside the 45. Good gain on first down, and now we are down to 8 minutes to go in the 3rd.
You know, you just have to respect the calling by Chapmanville right there. A failed trick play. A lot of times coaches will kind of rein it in. They'll kind of second-guess themselves. Not this coaching staff and not this team. They stick to their guns. They catch them off guard. That's the type of things you have to do when you're a multiple touchdown underdog, what most people thought. Love to see that. We're in a dogfight here. What a second-round playoff action.
And Bridgeport had time of possession dominated in the first half. 17 minutes to nearly 7 for Chapmanville, and now Chapmanville trying to get that back as they go deep downfield. He can come up with it. Yes, he did. Ward once again with a great grab.
Ward making adjustments. That's what you do when you find the matchup you want one-on-one. Dakota Dalton knows that anytime Trey Ward is in one-on-one coverage, you throw it up, he's going to make a play. The second time in the 3rd quarter, we've seen it happen. Chapmanville's rolling. The crowd is going wild for the visiting section over there. The Bridgeport side where we are is eerily silent at the moment.
With that score, Chapmanville has put up the most points against Bridgeport all year.
Wow. That is incredible. Again, this Bridgeport team that has just run everybody off the field this season now could be on the verge of trailing for the first time all year long. As they are inside the 20 are the Tigers. Quick hitter to the outside to Atkins. Atkins cuts inside the 15 down to the 10, and he'll be close to first down yardage again.
That's the biggest blitz I've seen from Bridgeport. They're not set back any longer. They brought the house that time. Good play call, getting it quick out to the outside to Austin Atkins, the senior playmaker, hoping this is not his last game. They're making plays. Chapmanville's in business.
And in the first half, Atkins didn't have a catch. He comes up with his first one here. And it'll be second down and about 3.
Second half has been controlled by Trey Ward. You know, him and Dakota Dalton has put on a show this half.
Now the Tigers inside the 10. They trail it by 2. Can they take the lead for the first time tonight? Dalton gives it off to Collins, tries to get to the left side. He just spins away, stayed on his feet, and turns something out of nothing and might be close enough to a first down here.
It's usually Preston Kovac making those bruising inside the tackle runs. Collins shows you he's not just a big play guy. He can get down in between the tackles as we see Kovac coming back in.
Going to be just shy of the first down. It's going to be third and less than a yard here for Chapmanville, as they've had the ball the entire third quarter thus far. They've scored, recovered an onside kick, and now knocking on the door again.
Fans are hollering. We got over 2,000 people tuning in, guys, on Facebook alone. Appreciate you guys. That's not counting on YouTube.
And again, people around the state starting to hear Chapmanville's in it. Can they do it? As they give it off to Kovac, and he's hit hard in the backfield and driven down. Bridgeport was waiting on that.
You got to wonder if Chapmanville's going to call a pull action, let Dakota fake that into his belly and pull that run around, because they are keying on Preston every time he comes in the game. Fourth down, Chapmanville. You know Coach Barker's got something circled on his play sheet for situations just like this. Can't wait to see what they call.
Again, I was thinking, you know, you could kick the field goal here perhaps, but again, after having some of the issues they had the first time on the extra point, they're going to go for it here. 4th and 3. Dalton keeps it himself, pushes forward, spins off of one man. He's going to be right near the first down. This is going to depend on the spot. It looked like he landed on a man and rolled over, and that may have gotten it for him.
There was a little confusion there.
We've talked so much about the mental ability and the high IQ of Dakota Dalton for his age. He's got the body to back it up, too. Like you called earlier, Darryl, you got that big quarterback. I'm a big fan, even though I like the aerial show. Get him up under center. Let him roll with it.
I agree. You got to use that. He's too valuable, too much size not to use that play.
Now you've got it 1st and goal from the 5-yard line. Chapmanville has eaten up 7.5 minutes off the clock in this third quarter. Bridgeport hasn't touched it yet. Now a chance to try and take the lead. Dalton keeps it himself, follows his blockers, sidesteps, and he's into the end zone. Chapmanville has the lead over the defending state champions with 4:24 to go in the third.
They're not just counterpunchers, folks. They are heavyweight title contenders. They just knocked Bridgeport down for the first time this season. We've talked about all season long, how will Chapmanville respond to adversity? Let's see how the Mighty Indians respond to adversity. What a play call to get that onside kick. What gumption by the sophomore quarterback. And just, I've said it all season long with this coaching staff and these players on the sidelines. They're like a family. They cheer for each other. It sounds like a lot of cliche, but you see it day in, day out with this Tiger team.
Looky here. Look at this play call.
Yeah, they've got the muddle huddle set up all the way to the left side as they'll go for 2 again here. Looks like some confusion, and Chapmanville's going to call for time here.
You know, I think it's a smart go for 2 here. No pressure on you. You got the lead right now. Try to get them 2 points back, Chris.
Oh, yeah, and then, talking with some of the players, leading up to the game, and a couple of these kids I've seen grown up and just texting with them and speaking with them, talking about, hey, listen, enjoy the moment. The great thing about being a huge underdog, you can play free. Mm-hmm. You have no expectations. You can play free. You can play loose. You have no pressure. Go out there and have a chance to shock the world, and I'm telling you, share this link, share this out to people, because the more people that hear about Chapmanville in the lead in the third quarter at Bridgeport, they want to tune into this.
That's it. Guys, real quick, Jim Marr comment section, Ryan Queen says Shelly Nelson, Matt played for Chapmanville. He was quoting what Bridgeport said. Bridgeport fan tuning in said, thank you for the stream. Sarah Williams says, come on, Tigers, run it for the touchdown. Daggett Williams said, get these DBs out of here. Shelly Nelson says, she's cheering on the Tigers. And we also see Bridget Donahoe says she's tuning in, said don't talk the talk if you can't walk the walk.
All right, now Chapmanville has towed that line about as well as anyone could hope, as they have the lead now. 4:24 left in the third quarter. It's been 12 unanswered points. And now the Tigers will go back to a familiar look here instead of the muddle huddle on their 2-point conversion attempt.
I like it.
Yeah, again, last time they tried to go with some trickeration, did not work out. This time they're just going to put their big bulls out there and try and earn it this way as Ward will come into the backfield. They fake the pitch to him, throw it into the back, wide open, and it is caught for the 2-point conversion by Benji Adkins. Chapmanville leads it 27-21 with 4:24 to go in the third.
Another wrinkle, Chris. A fake toss over the top to Benji Adkins. I love the fact that Benji was not involved last week, and he's been featured here tonight. What a play call, what execution, and just another great touch pass by Chapmanville and Dakota Dalton. You can hear the crowd, and folks, if you can hear it over our mic, it's from the opposite side of the field. It's not from the home fans in front of us. It's from the Tiger faithful across the field.
Real quick, guys, want to thank Wayne Runyon Insurance, Diamond Flagging Company, Quality Metal Roofing, Logan Regional Medical Center, Eye Care, Southside Buildings and Carports, United Motorsports, 304 Motorsports Park, Aracoma Drug, Precision Heating and Cooling, Rebound Physical Therapy and Sports Performance, Blessings and Blooms, Smell My Tarts, Perry Brothers Pond, Jim Marr Services, Chief's Roadhouse, and Cheech's Pizza.
And now let's see if Chapmanville tries to apply the pressure again here with an onside kick. I keep the pressure on as McClanahan approaches, kicks a line dart down to about the 25-yard line, fielded there by Bridgeport. They'll finally get the ball here in this third quarter, and good coverage by the Tigers, holding it to about the 37 for a gain of 12.
It's been a long time since the blocked field goal, Chris. You got to see, not only have they been the offense have been sitting idle on the sidelines, they got to respond to being down. I don't expect them to change their philosophy. It's not like they're going to come out in the spread. They're going to keep running. They're going to keep running their formation. So the defense, Chapmanville's defense, time after time again, have stand up when they needed to, answered the call we talked about last week. Now they're going to see if they can extend this and put even more pressure on the number one team.
Now Bridgeport trailing for the first time all year long, and they come out now with a similar formation. They'll hand it off on first down. Not a lot there. And I tell you what, Andy Bender's defense was making progress more and more as that first half went along, guys. And now if they can get a stop here, boy, does that put pressure on Bridgeport.
That's the truth, Chris. You talked about Andy Bender settling in. He's known for seeing what's in front of him and making adjustments on the fly. And he's done such a great job with this defense. You can see this Tiger defense is feeding off the crowd. The crowd's on their feet. You can hear them like they're in front of us. You see them talking to each other after the play. They are fired up. Jackson Toppings is talking to his fellow lineman up there. They're ready to fire off again.
2nd down and 8 as the Chapmanville crowd in a frenzy across the way right now. They go with triple pitch that time to the outside. Williams has first down yardage to the outside and slipped down.
Now, guys, Preston Kovac not making an impact on offense, but his presence is felt on the defensive side. He's come up with a couple big tackles here in the second half.
He has. Previous play, he was in on that, and he was firing people up there. And a little bit of trickeration from Bridgeport. You saw the handoff, the give back to the up back, the toss to the outside. I can guarantee you Chapmanville has not seen that against them this season. Very few teams have, so it doesn't have to be a high-flying play, a double pass or anything like that, but a very nice play call by Bridgeport to get on Chapmanville's side of the field.
And Williams had 13 carries for 128 yards and 2 touchdowns in the first half. 228 rushing yards altogether for Bridgeport in the first half. But not here, as going down in the backfield for a loss is Knight, as Chapmanville read it all the way for a loss of about 2.
Number 20 in on the tackle, Chris.
We've talked all season about the super sophomores, and that's another one, number 20, Keegan Craddock. He opened up the game with a tackle on the kickoff. Great responsibility there. He kept the edge. He read and react. He had the guys behind him, but he didn't need the help on that one.
He's been smelling some powerful tarts, Chris.
I tell you what, I'm going to buy me a bundle. Man, just help me get out of bed in the morning if it's giving him that kind of energy.
You don't need smelling salts when you got Smell My Tarts and Brooklyn.
There you go.
So now 2nd and 12 for Bridgeport. Williams looking to throw it, fires downfield, dangerous throw and incomplete. Good job by Adkins and company holding their water and making sure that trick play didn't go anywhere.
You can tell the fans are on edge because they were asking for a flag, and there was absolutely no flag on that. But that tells me right there that Bridgeport they are thinking about a lot of stuff right now. I'm not sure how much they've ran that play, but that definitely seems like their version of chucking it down the field. Great job by Austin Aggins back there and company. Just nowhere near a flag, but you can't blame these fans for being a bit nervous.
It is. You can tell the nervous energy is everywhere right now in this stadium, and now it's a 3rd and 12 for Bridgeport. Can Chapmanville come up with a stop? Williams tries to get outside, cuts back in, and he's going to get hit at about the 44. And
fumble! It's a fumble!
Did it come out? Let's see what the officials say. I haven't seen a signal yet from either side. Again, the officials now trying to come together and see if this is a fumble. Yes,
Chapmanville ball!
Chapmanville ball!
Yeah. Tiger football, guys. And look at this crowd up on their feet. The whole town of Chapmanville, West Virginia is here tonight cheering on their beloved Tigers.
That's why they make the 3-hour trip north. They get up there watching their Tigers. They're supporting them, the Tiger defense. I talked to a couple parents of the Tigers players, and I said I honestly think that Chapmanville needs 3 to 4 big game-changing plays to have a chance, and they're getting them right now.
See Courtney Dalton over there cheering on the Tigers, jumping up and down on the bleachers, the lot of beloved Chapmanville fans. And there it is.
Yeah, they finally confirmed that it was a fumble.
I'm not sure on the replay, but it looked like Preston Kovac coming in with a big hit there at the end and Benji take it. I'm not sure why they blew it dead. Maybe, I don't know, I couldn't see that. Okay, blown whistle, but they did get a fumble. What a play. And you just talked about how if that was Kovac, and I apologize if I'm getting the player wrong, it was so much going on. Yeah. But what a play by the defense. This Chapmanville team has a chance to go up 2 scores if they can get a touchdown here. They got this team on the heels. I don't expect Coach Barker, Coach Belcher, and those guys to take it easy. They're not going to change. They're going to be taking some shots.
Keep the pressure on.
Now 1st and 10 for Chapmanville. They lead it by 6. They give it to Collins. Collins to the edge, gets through into the secondary, and a first down for Jeremy Collins.
Jeremy first down. Collins again with a 10-yard carry. You see, we wonder how the Chapmanville defense would stand up against this offensive line by the Indians in the second half. Now we got a question, how's this Indian defensive line going to stand up to this offensive line who've been so physical all year long? They're not backing down 1 inch, Chris, and you love to see this kind of fight from a big underdog.
Boy, and you can just feel the energy from the Chapmanville side. It's permeating all throughout those stands as well. And again, if these guys can play within themselves right now, they've got all the momentum in the world at their back. They've outscored Bridgeport 14-0 here in this 3rd quarter, and now have the ball after forcing another turnover. They give it off up the middle. Not a lot there this time as they take out Collins' legs and bring him down for no gain.
You can hear the Bridgeport fans trying to get back up, trying to get their defense fired up. Nice play there by the defense. You got to say Chapmanville obviously have never been in this position in the playoffs versus a juggernaut as this. You know, they've handled with everything this season with composure. You got to do it in crunch time.
Guys, 3,200 people tuned and has watched it on YouTube. We got 25 on Facebook. That's why you advertise with D&D. Call Billy Davis for all your advertising needs for D&D Sports.
40 seconds left in the 3rd. Dalton keeps it this time, looking to throw, goes deep downfield, overthrows Atkins, and Atkins tried to draw a flag there. I give him credit for the acting job, but wasn't going to draw that one right there, and it'll be 3rd down and 10.5 officially here for Chapmanville. 33 seconds left in the 3rd.
Keeping the defense honest, taking shots deep, and Atkins is going to do whatever it takes in these games. You know, he's a senior. He doesn't want to see his Chapmanville career come to an end. These guys are just playing, you know, to the best of their abilities.
3rd down for Chapmanville on Bridgeport's 47-yard line. Can they find a conversion here to keep the pressure on the Indians?
Trying to get single on Trey Ward here.
They send him to the high side. Now Atkins comes in motion. He'll stop right behind Dalton. He'll pitch it over. Now it'll be a reverse to Trey. Trey back to Dalton. Dalton looks deep downfield, and was it hauled in?
He got it.
Yes, what a catch!
What a play!
What a play call. You have to have great blocking up front to run an end-around reverse back to your quarterback for the throw. Dalton once again puts the air under it, and Austin Atkins with a great catch looking back over his shoulder. I think it was Austin. There was so much going on there, far side for me there, but fantastic play call once again.
Let's see if we got that on replay real quick, guys.
Boy, and that is a
What a catch.
What footwork by Atkins, and that is how the third quarter comes to an end. Could we be on the verge of the biggest upset in the state of West Virginia in quite a while? The Tigers lead at 27-21 over the defending state champions. Back after this as you're watching high school football playoff action on the D&D Sports Network.
Southside Buildings and Carports and Southside Shed Hunters of Louisa, Kentucky offers shed hauling services up to 16 by 52 long buildings. We also have lofted cabins, utility cabins, garages, man caves, she sheds that you can customize and order to your wants and needs with many different options such as workbenches, shelving, transom windows, and much more. You can go to the location or buy using 3D Builder's online order system. You can build right from your own home. We offer metal garages and carports that are built to any size and installed right on your property. For more info, call 304-928-0060 or 304-928-0062. Here at Southside Buildings and Carports, we've got you covered.
(27-21) Chapmanville as we start the fourth quarter. Perry Brothers Pawn Shop, our sponsor here for the fourth quarter. Chris Kidd, Dwayne Williams, Darryl McCoy with you as they give it off, and Kovac is driven down immediately on first down for a 3-yard loss. And this Bridgeport fan base finally came to life at the end of the third quarter, trying to rally these boys back as Chapmanville is taking control of this game.
Yeah, it's almost like they can feel the nervous tension on the sidelines. They're trying to will that defense, and once again, every time Preston's in there in the backfield, they give it to them, and they were definitely ready on that. But going back to that play that finished the third quarter, once again, James Barker shows that he doesn't care when to call a play. He trusts his team, and just great execution.
Now 2nd and 13 at the Bridgeport 18. Dalton will roll out. Looking under pressure, gets rid of it. He hits his man at the 10, inside the 5, and brought down right at the first down marker. That could be set up 1st and goal as he found Trey Ward at the last second.
Chris, ex-Prep head coach tuning in, says it's one thing to have all these gadget plays, but to execute them all is crazy. Said great job, players and coaching staff, to lay it all on the line.
Absolutely, Darryl. And then what composure there and patience by Dakota Dalton, rolling out to the right, and he waited. He knew he was going to take a hit. He waited to the last second and made the perfect throw, and looks like we got 1st and goal, Chris.
Wow, and Chapmanville has dominated time of possession. They've dominated the scoreboard here in the second half. Can they put Bridgeport down by 2 scores now, as this is the first time Bridgeport has trailed all season? Dalton gives it off to Kovac, pushes forward, falls down close to the 1, maybe the 1.5, and it'll be 2nd and goal.
You know, when they need yards, they go to that left side. They go to that left side off tackle, Dawson Aggins. You got David Browning over there, and big happy birthday to Dawson Aggins today, the senior, the only senior on the offensive line. What a birthday present that would be if Chapmanville can pull off one of the biggest upsets in state football history.
Bradley Dameron said if they score here, say Bridgeport could be in trouble. They're not known for their quick strike ability.
Now the Tigers come to the line of scrimmage. Kovac in the backfield with Dalton on 2nd and goal. High snap, they get it down. Dalton gives it off to Kovac, trying to push forward. He's not quite going to get there. And let's see, did the ball come out or not? No. But it'll be 3rd and goal now.
This is where you put Dalton under center, like we was talking about.
Yeah, you got that big body. You know. Also, it seems like they blew that dead little quick there, so you got to watch. You don't know if they're going to let you push a lot. When you get in the scrum. So very quick whistle there. Didn't think it was going to go any further, but now we see the Indian players on the sidelines looking to the stands, trying to get them pumped up. They know how important this drive is for Chapmanville to give them a 2-score lead.
And Chapmanville's going to let this play clock run down now and call for time, it looks like. Again, 10 on the play clock. Get as many seconds off as possible right now and try and come up with your best possible play, because you got 2 downs to try and put it in here. Or if you don't score here, field goal is a possibility. A field goal puts us at a 2-possession game still. So I feel like if you don't get in here, I think you just take the points, get up by 2 possessions.
Yeah, they got one of the best field goal kickers in the business in Ashton McClennan.
Absolutely. And, of course, you got to worry about execution anytime you bring in the special teams in a high-pressure situation. They've had their struggles recently, but overall all season it's pretty much been automatic. So they got to worry about if they can get the blocking up front. But I don't fault that timeout at all. A lot of people say save them, save them, save them. that just shows you how important this drive is. Why save them for a possibility? You have a chance to score, and why not get your best plays out there?
And again, we thank all of you out there watching with us here tonight. Again, word of mouth getting around fast that the #1 defending state champions, winners of 25 in a row, are in a huge dogfight right now, to say the least. They are on the edge of a cliff at the moment, and Chapmanville looking to try and push them off if they can. With 9:13 left in the fourth, they lead it by 6. And again, the rest of the Mountain State tuning in and watching this on D&D Sports, and the Tigers earning respect with every second that comes off the clock right now, and they have a chance to go up by 2 touchdowns if they can push it in from 1 yard out here.
You know, they say to get respect, you have to earn respect, and they've already earned their respect from everybody across the state that knows anything about football. Let's see what the Tigers have drawn up for this one.
Dalton under center. They're going to push him forward. He's met at the line. He pushes the ball out. He's in. Touchdown, Chapmanville, with 9:09 to go in the fourth.
Tiger, Tiger, Tiger.
You hear the call, Tiger, Tiger, Tiger. You know good things happen. I hate seeing when OCs and head coaches outthink themselves. We've talked all night about you got a big body, smart quarterback, a great offensive line, a great center in Levi Robinson. You get behind them. You let Dakota Dalton grab that and stretch out. Perfect play, no risk. Don't overthink it. Tigers complete that drive, got these Indians on their heels.
Give this quarterback his flowers, Chris. Dakota Dalton is a bad dude.
He is absolutely got ice in his veins tonight, as he has made some incredible throws and 2 rushing touchdowns here in the second half, as they'll go for 2. Dalton rolls out under pressure, and he's brought down by Knight, got rid of it the last second. So 2-point conversion fails, but Chapmanville leads it by 2 touchdowns with 9:09 to play. We'll be back after this as you're watching the high school football playoffs right here on the D&D Sports Network.
Looking for a new healthcare provider? Come see us at Tug Valley Wellness Clinic. We take all patients from the ages 2 and up. Our staff has over 30 years of medical experience. We do everything from DOT physicals, wellness exams, adult and child, walk-in visits, and more. Call us today at 304-236-3601 or reach us Monday through Friday.
Chris Kidd, Dwayne Williams, Darryl McCoy, and Michael Sean Waller here with you this evening as the #9 Chapmanville Tigers have the #1 undefeated Bridgeport Indians on the verge right now as they lead at 33-21 as Chapmanville kicks short and the flag comes out. So let's see what the call is here. Maybe an offside against Chapmanville or illegal touching. Let's see.
Do you like it call, Dwayne?
I get the reasoning behind it, because even with returns, they're getting it back to the 40-45. And we saw last week they had a couple issues with their kickoff. So, definitely outside the norm, but I don't have a problem with it. But now they accepted the penalty to back them up. I'm surprised at that.
Yeah, I don't really understand accepting that penalty.
Gideon Jarvis says George Barker better go ahead and get Belcher that multi-year deal before the SEC comes calling.
I tell you, if there's one man in this stadium as nervous and excited as could be right now, it could be Zach Belcher on that sideline. Again, third-year head coach coming in after so many great coaches been through that system. So many of those coaches are still in the system over there for Chapmanville. And this could be a program-changing win here tonight if they can get it as McClanahan kicks it out of bounds.
They actually still come out ahead. They could have had the ball at the 50. So, Chapmanville actually gained some yardage there, even with the out-of-bounds kick there.
Guys, speaking of the entire mountains cheering on the Tigers right now, state champion head coach Kevin Gertz, he says keep the ball in bounds and snap it under 5 seconds.
Absolutely.
And, this game, everybody's paying attention. I just got a text from Kevin No Juice Aggins talking about this is better than any college game that's on TV right now. So not too bad. You can tune in free on D&D Sports Network to pick up the most entertaining game on any network right now.
Thanks to our sponsors. Could not do this without our fine sponsors at home. They're the ones that make it possible.
And now they're going to accept the penalty again, so Chapmanville's going to have to kick off yet again, as they're going to be pushed back to the 30-yard line. So Bridgeport, they want to try and get the ball in one of their playmakers' hands here and see if he can try and flip this game back around.
So now Chapmanville's going to have to make them pay, kick it deep, good coverage. Coverage is key here. You can't miss tackles. They have great gunners. They've shown all season long, and they've never needed them more than right now.
Yeah, would I just let McClanahan squib one into the secondary here or try and blast one as deep as he can? Like we said,
That's what I'd do.
Yeah, he's got one of the best legs in the state.
Make them use that clock.
McClanahan will put his right leg into this one. Comes down at about the 23.
Ooh, nice catch.
Out across the 30, the 40 now to the 45, and brought down at about the 47. So after all that, Graham Vincent on the return. They get the ball right about where they would have on that first onside attempt.
After 3 kicks, a lot of energy exertion, and possible injuries, they lost 3 yards.
So it'll be 1st and 10 for Bridgeport at the 47 with 9:03 to go. Again, Chapmanville has 1 timeout remaining. Bridgeport has 2 remaining, as Bridgeport used one just seconds into the 3rd quarter. And now this offense that has only seen the field for a handful of plays here in this 2nd half, they have to go down and get points right here, and they know it. As you can hear the Bridgeport crowd trying to get their team into it now. They'll snap it back. They go with that quick triple reverse again here to Williams. Williams cuts inside. He's hit by Atkins, but stays up, and he's finally brought down at about the 36-yard line.
That is their version of getting the ball out in space to their playmaker. Chapmanville tries to get it out in wide receiver screens and quick slants. This team does in that little trickeration they have to get it in Williams' hand. He even broke tackles from guys. Austin Gillum made a great hustle play from behind. He still got a few extra yards from there until the cavalry could come there. But this is such a big drive for this defense. If they can make a stop, or even better, come up with a turnover, and you got to wonder if Bridgeport's ever going to pull the trigger and throw.
So snap it back. They give it off up the middle to Gillum. Gillum able to forge forward for about 4, close to 5 yards on the carry, and it'll be 2nd and 5. But yeah, they've had difficulty running between the tackles and up front, so they're having to resort to some different play calls now.
Somebody asked, is this AAA playoffs? Yes, it is. This is the AAA state playoffs.
And Chapmanville's defense, they have to be aggressive, but they can't overrun their responsibilities. It's not more about blitzing. It's about staying in your lanes and reading and reacting, staying that discipline that Coach Andy Bender preaches every single day. Now's the time for that.
2nd down and 6. They'll rush it near side, but what a play by Porter. Comes over and brings him down from the backside, and Williams will lose yardage.
Porter leads the team in tackles in the regular season, makes a play, splits the lineman, comes through, gets a tackle before the play can develop, and that's the key. When you have a quick-hitting offense like this with that offensive line, if you split those linemen and get in the backfield, that's where you make your hay.
7:34, 7:33, 7:32 on the clock.
3,000 people tuning in, Chris.
It is 3rd down and 8, and as we said, word of mouth is spreading around the state of West Virginia that the #1 team in the state is in a lot of trouble right now. As they give it off up the middle, breaking through is Bond. Bond tries to sidestep a man and brought down inside the 20. A touchdown-saving tackle, but that'll be a 1st down for Bridgeport.
That shows you the dangers of this offense. They've run that pitch play a couple times to great success. This time they fake it and pound it up the middle. We talked about the secondary having to make multiple touchdown-saving tackles, and that's another example of it.
We are 600 away from breaking a D&D record with fans watching. So, and that happened in a region tournament basketball. This is a record for football. 3,000 people tuning in at home.
And they could be watching one of the biggest upsets in the state of West Virginia football in quite a while if Chapmanville can pull it off. As coming near side is Williams. He cuts back inside the 10, hit right about the 6-yard line and brought down there. That's going to be close to another 1st down.
Couldn't see from my angle who made that tackle, but Williams, he takes gang tackle. He's very rarely went down by the first contact. His yards after contact is amazing. We've seen it all year from Chapmanville's running backs, and we're seeing it now why this Bridgeport running offense is so dangerous.
Get this under 6 minutes here, guys, is what you need to do if you're Chapmanville. Get one more tackle.
So we are approaching 6 minutes now as it's 1st and goal from the 6-yard line for Bridgeport, trying to cut it back to a 1-possession game. So snap it back to Williams. Williams off the right side, pushing forward, and he's into the end zone. Touchdown Bridgeport with 6:06 to go in the 4th, and the Indians are right back in it.
What an answer by Bridgeport. We've given Chapmanville a lot of credit for answering. Bridgeport hasn't had to do it at all this season for the most part, so they showed they can do it as well. They didn't get outside themselves. They stuck with their bread and butter and marched on down the field.
And now It's going to come down to the Chapmanville offense here with half the quarter left. Can they go down and get one more score? Is on for the extra point is Brown. So he had a field goal block at the end of the first half. Low snap, and this is going to be no good as Chapmanville got a piece of it, and it stays a 6-point Tiger lead with 6:06 to go. Back after this as you're watching high school football playoff action on the D&D Sports Network.
5 times is a charm. Congratulations to the awesome team at Precision Heating, Cooling, Electrical for earning its 5th National Best of the Best Award for customer satisfaction, the only HVAC company in West Virginia to earn our award for 5 straight years. If you need heating, cooling, electrical work, a fantastic generator, residential or commercial, done right at a fair price by honest experts, remember the name, Precision Heating, Cooling, Electrical. Visit PreciseHeatingCooling.com for an appointment. Precision, the best of the best, again.
Bridgeport answers with a 6-play, 2-minute, 57-minute drive, 53 yards, and a touchdown to close it back to within 6. Chris Kidd, Darryl McCoy, Dwain Williams, Michael Sean Waller here with you this evening in this state AAA quarterfinal matchup as Bridgeport will go onside, and this ball almost came loose. Bridgeport still trying to fight to dislodge it, but it looked like Chapmanville recovered it.
Yeah, Chapmanville got it.
I can't tell who recovered that, guys. Could you maybe 17?
Yeah, that was a great call there by Bridgeport.
Like Drake Walls comes up with the recovery on that, and can you imagine the nerves on that? You got the lead, it's coming towards you, and I'm thinking Drake Walls might be a freshman, so can you imagine that coming towards you out there? So great heads-up play. Chapmanville right now has to be thinking first down. Just get a first down.
Nick Dawson says Bridgeport has 500 yards on 400 carries.
Well, now can Chapmanville find one more drive in them tonight? Bridgeport, though, stands up tall on first down, and they'll drop Kovac for a loss.
Very slow developing play there. A little bit of a high snap. Good job by Dalton going up and getting it, which slows Kovac down there before he got going. And like we said, every time he's in the backfield, they're keying on him.
You've got to keep the football in your young quarterback's hands. You know, he's the one that got you here, ride the horse that got you there.
He's proven time and time again he's got the IQ and the decision-making, and that's what you want in your quarterback, and you have to trust him. This team's proved they've trusted him. I think that will keep it in his hands, whether he's going to maybe fake that. I'm still anxious to see if they're going to fake that handoff and he pulls it because he has the ability.
We've seen that play many times.
Yes.
Well, they've got to go here. They're down to 4 on the play clock as Dalton will get it off, looking to throw. Fires downfield, has a man out. There is Atkins. He comes down with it as a flag down.
What a job these receivers have done tonight, Chris. Time and time again, these boys come up with the play for Dalton.
Another over-the-shoulder catch by the senior Austin Atkins, and what a ball by Dakota Dalton. Puts it on the money in a pressure situation, and I'm pretty sure that's going to be pass interference on the defense. Of course, they'll decline that, but we just talked before that play. Do you trust your quarterback? Put it in his hands. That's the answer to our question. James Barker, Zach Belcher, they definitely trust their QB.
That's why you see Dakota Dalton standing on the sidelines of Kentucky, WVU Marshall on Saturdays.
Now it's 1st and 10 at the 29-yard line, under 5 minutes to go. And again, you guys mentioned it with that missed extra point by Bridgeport. A field goal puts it at a 2-possession game for Chapmanville. They'll give it off to Collins. Collins has nowhere to go as he's met at the line of scrimmage by John Knight for no gain, and it'll be 2nd and 10.
Did a lot of work just to get back to the line of scrimmage there. They fired off, pushed the offensive line back again, and, you know, we're coming up on 4.5 minutes, Chris, and, you know, every single play call from this point on is just pressure-packed.
How many timeouts does Bridgeport have left?
They have 2 remaining. Chapmanville has 1.
Okay.
So if I'm Chapmanville, again, 4:20, still a ton of time left in this game. I will continue to put the pressure on with your passing game just as they have all evening long right here. As Dalton out of the shotgun, drops the throw, has some time, now heaves it deep downfield, looking for his man, and Atkins, and no flag on the play as Atkins tried to draw an interference call again, but it'll be 3rd down and 11.
very close when he come back and try to play. I think that might be Ward. He looks like he's a little bit cramped up there. He tried to come back and make a play the ball. There was some contact, but no call there. But you got to respect taking a shot there.
4:03 remaining here in the fourth, and it was Ward. So, again, Ward had a couple of cramping issues last week against Greenbrier East, and hopefully that's all it is as he goes over to get checked on.
Chris, let's thank some sponsors real quick. Want to thank Rebound Physical Therapy and Sports Performance, Blessings and Blooms, Smell My Tarts, Perry Brothers Pond, 304 Motorsports Park, GMR Services, Chiefs Roadhouse, United Motorsports, Aircoma Drug, Precision Heating and Cooling, Diamond Flag and Company, Hill Chiropractic, Cheech's Pizza, Tug Valley Wellness Clinic, Wide Eye Care, and Logan Regional Medical Center, as well as Logan Bank and Trust.
3rd and 11 for Chapmanville. Dalton back to throw. Has time, fires over the middle, and almost intercepted as Dalton got hit right at the tail end of that play. And now you've got 4th and 11, and you're just on the edge of field goal range. You're too close to punt it. I think you just go for it here.
Just have to go for it because you don't want to give up that extra field position when you attempt a field goal here. And, they're letting them play. I think they're letting them play a little bit in the secondary. Nothing over the top, but looks like they are going to line up. That shows, we talked about the confidence in the quarterback. This team shows the confidence in the kicker. Young man has a powerful leg. Let's see if he can do it.
And again, this could be the biggest kick of McClanahan's life here. And Bridgeport just uses a second timeout. I'm a little surprised. No, Chapmanville looks like they burned the timeout, so that's going to be the 3rd timeout for Chapmanville. They have none remaining.
Wow, so right here, well, it looks like to me they may see if they have a change of heart.
Yeah, you definitely want to get this decision right. And it is such a big decision. It's so funny how many times in the games come down to this, no matter what level of football. Like pressure situation, you got less than 4 minutes. You're up right now by 6. You're looking to make it a 2-score game. We're looking at a 47-yarder from this point, Chris.
Yeah,
and that's tough for college kids, much less a sophomore kicker. We know he's got a leg, but you got to wonder what you can do here.
I'd probably trust my quarterback right now.
It looks like that's what they're going to do now here on 4th and 11. Again, you're just right on the edge of field goal range, but you're definitely too close to punt it away. They're going to trust the offense here. They've converted 4th down several times tonight. Can they do it again here? Dalton rolls out, trying to buy time, looks deep downfield for Adkins, and maybe intercepted, and it is intercepted at about the 2-yard line.
That was a blessing.
That's actually not, of course you don't want an interception, but that's better than any punt you could have. So that's a good decision there, throwing that deep. You give your guy a chance, they're down to 1.
Yeah, if Bridgeport's going to win this game, they're going to go 99 yards to do it.
Yep.
Well, now the stage is set with 3:47 remaining here in the 4th. Number 9, Chapmanville, undefeated this season, leading number 1 Bridgeport, winners of 25 in a row, 33-27, and Bridgeport's got to go 99 yards to have a chance to defend their state title. They'll go from under center here on 1st down. Chapmanville could be one stop away from a massive upset. They'll run with Williams. Williams gets hit, able to break out, and gets across the 5, close to the 6-yard line.
Another example, Williams is hit actually at the edge of the end zone and still comes out and gives them some room. This Chapmanville defense is going to have to wrap up. They can't shoulder tackle. It's got to be sound tackling, play your lanes, play your position, stay disciplined. I know it's easy for me to say that up here in the booth, but these guys have shown all year, and they've never been needed more than they need to step up to right now.
D&D tied record, 3,600 tuning in.
On 2nd and 5, they'll run to the outside, but Benji Atkins there for the big hit. No, they're going to give him obviously forward progress. So he's out at about the 7, but Benji Atkins with a big hit, able to drive Williams down, and it'll bring up 3rd down and about 5 now.
What a game by Benji Atkins. He's made huge plays in the passing game, and right there he shows up there alongside Keegan Craddock and Austin Killen to help finish it up, but he has been a force on both sides of the ball tonight.
Now the Indians come to the line of scrimmage. They'll call it 3rd and 4 officially from about the 7-yard line. We're down to 2:38 to go in the 4th. They'll fake the pitch, give it off up the middle to Bond, and Bond right at the first down marker. It looks like he's got the first down, and that'll move the chains for Bridgeport. Clock will stop momentarily with 2.5 to go.
That's a first down, but that's okay for Chapmanville. Keep everything in front of you. Make them use every single yard of this field. You got to wonder if Bridgeport has something in their back pocket for a pop play or something down the field. They might run a fake in the backfield and toss it deep. You know they have a play somewhere in their playbook for that because time is their enemy at the moment.
And Chapmanville talked about discipline all week. Discipline is what they had to have to win this game. Can they stay disciplined here in the final moments? And Williams nearly broke that to the house for a touchdown.
You talk about trusting your playbook, trusting your system. You are running the ball with 2 minutes left up the gut, but you can see how dynamic Williams is. You hear the crowd. As soon as he gets an opening, you hear the exclamation from the crowd, and just a great tackle there at the end by the Tigers. And they got to be sure tacklers here. They can't shoulder tackle this guy.
Minute 50 to go in the fourth. Coming near side with it, and nice tackle there on Bond as bringing him down was Kovac fighting through all these injuries.
You know, hats off to Bond, guys. This kid is fighting through an injury right now and still coming out. I mean, this kid's a stud.
And he was tackled by another kid who's been fighting through injuries for a while now. Preston Kovac, just like you can see how slow both of those guys got up. And that's the epitome of high school football. That's the epitome of football in general, is just giving it all you have, fighting through injuries no matter what, just giving it all for your team and your teammates.
Bridgeport burns their second time out of the half. They have one remaining with 1:43 to go here in the fourth quarter. The winner moves on to face Nitro in the state semifinals on next week for the chance to go to the state championship. And Chapmanville's only been to the semis once in 2011, trying to duplicate that here 14 years later with one of the biggest upsets in West Virginia state football history.
What atmosphere here, Chris. We hear the Indians theme song. We hear the chop going a la the 1990s Atlanta Braves. That's who I'm going to reference. I'm not going to reference the Chiefs. So let's see if this atmosphere can play out for one of these teams.
Second down and 6 from the 29. They'll rush it up the gut. Going to be close to a first down out of about the 35-yard line. As the clock will stop momentarily, and they will move the chains.
We've talked about it time and time again, not being a broken record, but discipline. You've got to be disciplined in your defense right now. Finish this game.
Bond in the backfield with Williams. Williams will take it, coming near side, makes a cut, gets across the 40, out to about the 44. Looks like he could be shy, or they may give him progress to the 45.
Jackson Toppins, an Iron Man, playing both sides of the ball. He is fighting through double teams, and right there was all heart and hustle. That's why that young man's getting visits as a junior. Runs down the line, chases him down from behind, and keeps it to a minimum gain.
We're down to a minute 18 now. Up the middle they go. Up to the 50 goes Bond as he's tackled short of the first down, so the clock will continue to run now.
Right now you're playing against the clock right now, and you know 1 minute to go right here. Does Chapmanville have enough stops in them?
Second down and 4 at the Chapmanville 49. They go inside with a handoff this time. Hit, spinning forward, staying on his feet as Knight, but he'll have the first down.
Right there, you had some DBs back there. They got to come up and help finish that off right now. You know, that's the. You know, I know you're wanting to stay disciplined, but right now everybody's got to help tackle.
Absolutely, and you say and this running back is just bouncing off tacklers, and we got a guy down here for a second.
It's Topping.
We just talked about how hard he's worked. He's faced double teams. He plays both sides of the ball. He rarely comes off, and, you know, a little bit of classless booze here. This player never fakes an injury, never comes off the field. I guess they're assuming he's slowing it down, but that's a legit injury right there, you know. He wants to be out there every single play.
4,000 people tuning in.
And honestly, that helps Bridgeport a little bit. It gives them a pseudo timeout there, as now the clock will run with 50 seconds to go. They pitch it back to Williams. He's hit the backfield, driven backwards. What a tackle by David Browning.
David Browning, we talked about splitting those tackles and those offensive linemen, and what a play by Browning. We see Jackson Toppins immediately back out there because he wants to be out there to help his teammates. He's right there. He's not going to be missing a play.
And that is the last timeout burned by Bridgeport with 44.6 seconds left. Neither side has a timeout remaining, and it'll be 2nd and 11 for the Indians. And again, the tension is at a fever pitch here in Bridgeport, West Virginia. Again, Bridgeport has won 25 in a row. They're the defending AAA state champions. Chapmanville felt disrespected and overlooked all season long playing what everyone called an inferior schedule, and here they are at 11-0 trying to shock the state of West Virginia, and they're 45 seconds and a stop away from it.
45 seconds away from history, Chris. It is not the state title game, but it sure feels like it.
Now here comes Bridgeport again. Neither side can stop the clock now. 45 seconds remaining. Bond and Williams in the backfield. They'll pitch it to Williams. Williams hit, and he's brought down quickly. So the clock's going to run now inside the 40-yard line. 38, 37, 36.
Jackson Toppings in the backfield getting under his feet and making things happen.
3rd down and 8. They'll pitch it back to Bond. They'll go
there
with
it
that
is.
Quick pitch back. Here comes Williams. Williams cuts back inside the 30, and he's brought down about the 25. It's a 1st down. 23 seconds to go. The clock will stop while they move the chains.
You know your heart's got to be in your throat as a Chapmanville fan when you see him get on the edge.
Now they come to the line of scrimmage here. 20 seconds and counting. It's Bond in the backfield with Williams. Williams will take it to the outside, cuts back in, finds a crease, but he's brought down short of the 1st down. Clock's going to run with 10 seconds left. 9, 8, 7. Does Bridgeport have time to get up and get it off? With 3 seconds left, they clock it, and they have time for one more play.
The flag. We got a flag, Chris.
Flag came down.
I think it may be encroachment.
Encroachment on the defense?
It looked like they might have been a Chapmanville guy standing over the line. Let's see. No, on the offense.
Oh, is that a running clock? Did they have that in high school? I'm not even sure.
I don't. Okay, so yeah,
One last play.
It's not a runoff in high school football like it would be in the pros, but this will be the final chance here, and Bridgeport loses 5 valuable yards back to about the 23. And again, the clock's going to run once they set up for play here. Here's the last play of the game. 1 second left. They'll drop the throw. Under pressure. He's hit as he throws. It is intercepted!
The Tigers do it!
Pulled off the miracle, and they are moving on to the state semifinals next week.
David versus Goliath. They called it all week, and David has slayed the giant. David versus Goliath was the theme from all week long. An historic win for the Chapmanville Regional High School Tigers. Coach Zach Belcher, brick by brick, the man just built a house.
Chapmanville shocks West Virginia, guys. Knocking off 25-0 Bridgeport coming into this game. Now they're 25-1.
What a game.
Again, I've been doing announcing for over 20 years now. I don't know if I've been a part of a broadcast that had this much riding on it, upset-wise, momentum-wise for the program. Everything that Zach Belcher and this crew has done has come to fruition here tonight. What a program-changing win for the Chapmanville Tigers as they beat one of the best teams in the state of West Virginia, 33-27 on their home field.
They've been so many questions. They've been so many questions asked about this Tigers team, about how they respond, about their schedule. They showed up such an awesome way. Their level of commitment to each other, the way they answered every call, every punch. They're the counter punchers. They show what they're made of tonight, and nobody can take that away from them.
Guys, we're going to take a quick break. We'll come right back in just a moment on the Diamond Flagging Company post-game show, and we'll get you caught up on all the happenings during the game, and we'll also name the Tug Valley Wellness Clinic Player of the Game. Southside Buildings and Carports and Southside Shed Hunters of Louisiana, Kentucky offers shed hauling services up to 16 by 52 long buildings. We also have lofted cabins, utility cabins, garages, man caves, she sheds that you can customize and order to your wants and needs with many different options such as workbenches, shelving, transom windows, and much more. You can go to the location or buy using 3D Builder's online order system. You can build right from your own home. We offer metal garages and carports that are built to any size and installed right on your property. For more info, call 304-928-0060 or 304-928-0062. Here at Southside Buildings and Carports, we've got you covered. And coming back here in Bridgeport, guys, Chapmanville has shocked the state of West Virginia, knocking off Bridgeport, who come into this game 25-0. 5-0, 3 seasons undefeated. Chapmanville had an 11-0 record of their own, and the Tigers come out gutsy play by Preston Kovac, but the MVP, guys, I don't know. Listen, you can go multiple ways, but I think it goes on the quarterback, the young quarterback's hands, Dakota Dalton. He made play after play. And, listen, that don't happen without his receiving corps.
Absolutely.
So,
the quarterback gets the blame when they have, whether it's his fault or not, so you got to give him the credit here. He put the ball where only the wide receivers could catch. Austin Agins, you got to look at his senior, possibly playing his last game for the Tigers, making multiple over-the-shoulder catches. What a play by – what a overall win for the town, for the school, the coaching staff, the way they've coached this team, the way Jackson Topping, gutting it out, backing in and out after injury. Kovac, you mentioned him. You can go down the line. Trey Ward,
David Browning.
David Browning. You got the big man on defense. You got everybody making plays, and that's what it takes to make a earth-shattering upset. Zach Belcher, in only his third year, as we said, he's not leaving. He's not going to the SEC. He's going to stay for Chapmanville for quite a while.
And it is. I mean, I think all of the adrenaline just setting in now from the game. Again, whenever you're in the moment, announcing it, talking about it, it really doesn't quite sink in. And now you watch Chapmanville celebrating down on the field, knowing these coaches, knowing these players, having them in class, being friends with James since I was in grade school. I mean, it's overwhelming in a lot of ways.
Is.
I mean, I felt that winning a state championship as a coach. I know that they feel this right now. I mean, it's one of those feelings that you're like, we're worthy.
Yeah,
we're worthy, and we are capable of this. And everything that you pour into it, everything you put into it, you feel validation for all that time right now. And that is going to be one heck of a bus ride back to Chapmanville.
And we said it was cliche. They didn't have any respect. And we talked about it on the air. I talked about it to people before the game. On paper, Chapmanville didn't have a shot.
Right.
By most media, most fans didn't have a shot. That's why you show up and play the game. I won't hide my homerism right now. I mean, I've seen some of these kids grow up. I'm friends with their family, and it's an emotional time. You see kids like Dawson Agins on his birthday, no less, a senior on the offensive line. These seniors didn't want to go down. Trey Ward making plays. Austin Agins, was just so happy for all of these kids. Jackson Topping, Dawson Agins, these kids I've seen grow up, and every other kid that I know I'm not going to mention everybody, but I can relate to that, Chris. You've been friends with James, and you see these people, and you know their work, you know their heart's in the right spot. We're lucky we get to see them off the field. We see how they are. You talk with them. They truly care, and I couldn't be happier for everybody involved with this Tigers program.
The guys that you're sitting here, listen, cannot, Zach Belcher, James Barker, and the rest of this coaching staff, people talk time and time again. They said Chapmanville said, they're a one and done in the playoffs. Then they go up there to Greenbrier, upset Greenbrier, and then they're like, well, they'll never beat Bridgeport. Coming in, said that cupcake schedule is going to come into play. At the end of the day, too much cupcakes. Chapmanville's 8 to beat Bridgeport, and I tell you, they have took and they proved everybody in the state wrong, guys. Nobody gave Chapmanville a chance except for the Chapmanville faithful. Hats off to all the people that tuned in, supported the Tigers. As you see them sitting there, this is going to be a very fun week, guys, as they advance in the AAA playoffs. And now they'll play what, Nitro?
Yes.
Yeah. So another Goliath for David DeSlay ahead of them.
Yeah, and you know what? We've only got to travel like an hour and 15 minutes this time.
Easy week, man. Easy week. No more 6-hour round trip. But I'll tell you, the 6-hour round trip's so worth it to be a part of this game,
Absolutely.
To be here and witness this and see the joy. Hats off to Bridgeport, a great team. They stuck with their guns down the line, but the Tigers just kept making play after play. What an honor it was to share the booth for a game like this, and just it's something I'll never forget. So I can't imagine what these kids are going to feel and these coaches.
Real. You got anything else?
No, I am good.
Let's go over to sponsors real quick before we leave. Rebound Physical Therapy and Sports Performance, Blessings and Blooms, Smell My Tarts, Perry Brothers Ponds. We also want to thank 304 Motorsports Park, Jim Mars Services, Chiefs Roadhouse, United Motorsports, Air Common Drug, Precision Heating and Cooling, Cheech's Pizza, Hill Chiropractic, Tug Valley Wellness Clinic, Southside Buildings and Carports, Logan Regional Medical Center, Y-I Care, Diamond Flagging Company, Quality Metal Roofing, and Wayne Runyon Insurance. Guys, we want to appreciate each and every one that sponsored to help us bring this broadcast to you. Michael Sean Waller, Chris Kidd, and Dwayne Williams. Chris and Dwayne has been the voice of the Tigers all season long. guys, cannot thank you guys enough, and hats off to Zach Belcher, James Barker, Dakota Dalton, Trey Ward, Preston Kovac, and all the Chapmanville Tigers. You know, this is one of them moments that they will never forget the rest of their lives. David slayed Goliath here tonight in Bridgeport, West Virginia.
Yeah, I agree, and that was one of the things I said. You know, I know I keep bringing it up, but, you know, tennis doesn't really get on television a whole lot in high school, but that was one of the things I told the newspaper editor. He asked me, he says, what should we say about this after we beat Williamstown? I said, David beat Goliath.
Yeah.
And that's how this feels right now. And, you know, I know these Chapmanville kids, they don't feel that way. And all those guys in that locker room maybe don't feel that way. But, you know, that's the way that this entire state's going to look at this win. I mean, this is going to send shock waves around the state. And you do send your heart out to these Bridgeport seniors and players.
Yeah.
I mean, 25 straight wins, a state championship. Absolutely nothing to be ashamed of. I know this is a hard way to go out, but, you know, Chapmanville, they're a rising star right now, and they just got a lot brighter in the state of West Virginia here tonight with this win.
Look at these underclassmen creating a tunnel for the seniors to walk off the field one more time. This is a special moment for Bridgeport here, seniors. Sadly, you know, it come earlier than they wanted it to, but, you know, all I can say is it's a good day to be a Tiger fan. Hate it for Bridgeport, guys, because this was a classy organization, classy team.
Absolutely.
But, Chris, you know, last thing, you know, we all will say going off here is Tiger.